4, 3, 2.
Are you guys ready up there? Okay, just give me a second. All right. All right, quiet on the set.
Ow! Peace and blessings of the most high, the balance, omniverses, multiverses, tri-verses, dual-verses, and universes be upon you all, an earshot and eye shot of the God. It's your friendly neighborhood, Pharaoh Rise and Shepsi Dwamu Tefa Moon, and welcome to another episode of Revision Radio, where we seek and analyze and break down right knowledge, right wisdom, right understanding, right thinking, right reasoning, and right action from the third eye point of view. How y'all doing out there? Right back. We saw what's going on, family, gods and goddesses. My table was acting loose, like almost fell on me. I had to lock it in. Peace, gods. Peace and blessings, God. What's happening? How y'all been? This Saturday evening, Rahu back. Knife power on deck. What's going on, family? Yeah. So tonight, I'm gonna call in the Calvary. I'm gonna put the word out. I'm gonna put some links out so if anybody wanted to come in. But I enjoyed the reading last night, and about the Wizard of Oz. For those that joined in, anybody that wanted to build on that, ask me some questions so I could, if I don't know everything, whatever I don't know, I'll let you know I don't know. I'll go get the answer though. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, who that? So I got some more stuff though. And I just received, I was building with one of my brothers, and he was just telling me about some of our peoples that have some questions about the whole sovereignty, indigenous, the concept, and what's going on. And rattle back. Steelo, what up, God? Yeah, so the brother, I got some questions that the brother has, a concern of what's going on with Khufu and everything else. And when I looking at these questions, very, these are my people. The brother is very sharp, very in tune. But I'm not gonna lie, looking at the questions, it lets me know how much we have to get our people into. So I'm really motivated to continue on with the law aspect. How back, baby? How you doing? You gonna act like you don't see me? Oh, because I'm live? Well, we're gonna keep it real up here. We keep it real. Real. Nah, so I'll be acting out, don't worry about it. Yeah, okay. Amir Rashida Sultan, Stilo Scientist. Yeah, I see you, God. Ronald Newton. Raul Bad, beloved. How the family doing? Appreciate y'all for spending your time with me tonight. It's a weekend, it's a Saturday. But we gotta get this thing, we gotta reboot our minds to get into law and the exactness of law. And I think one of the things that Baba has been prepping us for, Baba Yanun, His Excellency Dr. Malachi Z. York, Kabina York Akron, with the idea and us moving down the pathway of actual fact. I think him drilling, this is just my thoughts, him drilling that in us throughout the years was in order to prepare us for moving in a state of law. So now when we start dealing with the law and how you have to cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and move in actual fact in law. And you know what I'm saying? And we should be prepared. We should be well groomed for that right now. But I'm gonna tell you, a lot of the questions that the family had, really, that they want me to pass on to Khufu, were things that were answered during most of the videos already, and things that we all should know. You know what I'm saying? Things that we all should know. So before I get into that and get into the reading, I read the Wizard of Oz breakdown yesterday. Went into the straw man, scarecrow, went into the Tin Man. You see what I'm saying? The tax ID number. Went into the gold being snatched up, the yellow brick road, went into the poppy seeds, which was the heron. That was where they fell asleep at, and then Glinda the Good Witch spreading the snow to nullify the effects of the poppy seeds, which was the coke that they started to bring into the country at the time. And the time frame being in the 1930s, right after the bankruptcy of the United States, the corporation, when Roosevelt sold the country out and it turned over and became a company, and the Federal Reserve Bank now took over and they confiscated all the gold from the country, and they needed everybody to go to sleep. And poppy seeds and the drugs, and you make you numb. And you remember, you go back, tie that into Revelations when they talk about that through sorcery is how the devil, is how these beings, how they rule the world through sorcery. And the word in Greek for sorcery is pharmakia. Pharmakia being pharmacy being drugs, and that's how they run the world. So, yeah, we might be built on that yesterday, and Dorothy being a representative of the organic, quote unquote, American before this shift took place, and Kansas becoming KS, which was Dorothy in Kansas, and winding up in Oz, and knowing that she's no longer in Kansas, she's now in a federal territory called KS, because it shifted, and the corporate authorities can't associate with anybody but a corporate of fiction, which they control. What else? Oh, the lion representing Americans, the Americans in their origin, insofar as being brave and being able to jump out there, and now being reduced to a cowardly lion. The Oz being fake, and the authorities in this corporate structure, this corporate company, corporate country, the Oz being fake, a representative of another authority, and really not having the power that they act like they do have. Yeah, and even the ounce, with the OZ and the ounce representing the ounces of gold and silver, that was specifically gold that was snatched up from America, and Toto being a Latin word meaning everything. Going to so y'all can check that out. That was on yesterday when I read through the Wizard of Oz and all the symbolism. And now, before we get into today's joint, that was just a brief recap. Hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? I don't care about you rolling on the floor and all that. I don't care about that. Meow, nothing. That's why I want to play. So, all right. So today, for November 20th, daily word from my cool Chief Thunderbird Black Eagle. Bone says, for November 20th, he says, you don't pray with your body. You pray with your soul. Hey, get off my door. It's the kitten. Hey, get off my door. You want to get physical on TV. You want to get it going like that. Yeah, so God said, you don't pray with your... You never get it, Pharaoh. You never get it, though. You never get it. You really think when you walk out, you do that every time. Oh, God, you ain't got nothing. Freestyling. You don't pray with your body, pray with your soul. So the God say, like, a lot of times, because we go through theatrics with the positions, think about taking it back to Islam. And when you're praying, you really got to start thinking about have a focus. The focus shouldn't just be the routine of prayer, whatever your routine of prayer is. So Baba gave an example years ago. He said that a lot of the Muslims, he said a lot of people, not just Muslims, Christians, Jews in the religious world, period, they miss the idea of when you're praying, what you're supposed to lock in on. And you're supposed to take yourself back to incidences in your life that made you appreciate the creative force of life, make you appreciate the Most High, make you appreciate creation, And so he was like, he said, okay, now you sitting there. He said, you thinking about Nana, your grandma, moms, or somebody that you loved, and the times when she, when it's cold, and she went in there and cooked you some soup, she made your favorite meal, or whatever the case may be, and while you sitting there, eating, and you looking up at her, y'all smiling and whatnot, and at each other, and that feeling that came to your heart when it happened. And he said, Allahu Akbar. Like attach those moments to the praise, because these beings, the mothers, our mothers and fathers, and mothers' mothers and fathers, and so forth and so on, those are the creators of us. That's who created us. That's where we come from, and going all the way back to the origin, So, in our connection to Partner Thought Overseers is through our Salafu, our ancestors. That's through our Damam, our blood. So we have to keep that in mind. So pray with your soul, not with your body. Don't just go through the motions if your mind and heart is not there. Route back. We saw what's happening. I'm sending you the link. I see you, God. Don't come and don't act like that. Where you been at, beloved? Route back, God. How you doing? I ain't blowing it up. I ain't gonna blow it up. Yeah. So, let me one more thing to read before we get into it. If you let me know, I'm gonna send you the link. If you want to get on, God, you get on. So this is the 20th, November 20th. This is from the Revolutionary Daily Thoughts. I look at it every day. I don't know why. I just gotta read the title again. Revolutionary Daily Thoughts. This is from Gene Toomer. Acceptance of prevailing standards often means we have no standards of our own. There is a litany of historically identifiable reasons for the Europeans' actions, their grand efforts at image control, and the lies they have concocted to convince others that they are humane. Their new fascination with dogs and other pets, is but one in a long line of tricks to convince us that they love all living things. Fear drives Europeans. Beyond being in the presence of creatures who do not judge their peculiarities, this public show of newfound affinity towards canines is no more than an effort to increase their security by acquiring guard dogs. Whatever their size, dogs can bark, early warning systems, and bite, weapons. Their bark, bite, and undying loyalty are the foremost reasons that dogs are historically claimed as their best friend. We should recognize that this is the same deceit they have passed off in their effort to have European females produce more babies, and convince us that it is based on a non-existent genuine love of family. Like the trend of loving dogs, it reflects nothing more than their xenophobia. The dogs keep their growing fears of personal violation and mortality at bay. Babies are an effort to calm their fears of genetic annihilation. Fear drove European survival strategies on the glacier. Fear drove the European xenophobia as they came crashing down off of the Caucasus Mountains and genocidally moved against the world. Fear drives them now to protect their ill-gotten waning privilege. Affirm, I have African standards. I do not have European standards. I agree about the whole fear situation. I think it's deeper than that, though, with the dogs. We know we go back to Rome, Romulus and Remus being birthed by the she-wolf, that storyline. We know that the master explained to us that these Europeans are a hybrid race of being. That's why he always called them mankind, a kind of man, something that they obviously knew, because the astronauts that supposedly went to the moon said one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. So they knew the difference between man, the original, and mankind, the hybrid, and the fact that man been traveling, or the original, quote unquote, man, the incarnation, been traveling the stars and other planets for millennia, and that this was something new for these beings that were a hybrid created or made on this planet as a replacement for their makers. But think about them in their relationship with the dog. Dog is a man's best friend. Barbara said they used to they used the dog to lick their sores during their time of physical leprosy, when the lepers disease was contagious. Like now they call clean lepers. I mean, if you see certain books, you go into on a genetic level, you'll see that the genes are deteriorated. So this is why they got to constantly mix in with beings of melanin, high doses content of melanin. All their movies, they're always connected to a canine. Always Caleb. Somebody's name is Caleb. Say my name is Kulab. Dealing with the dog star, or dealing with the dog star constellation of Caleb or Caleb. It's always connected. There's just what they do, and even a lot of them are sexually attracted to them too. You know, unfortunately. Yeah. But Raul Bat family, how the family doing? What the brother say? Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, God. What's this? Raul Bat. Later, there was Brave New World, 1984. Okay, yeah, I know about 1984. And even the cartoon Rocky and Bullwinkle, Believe. I know about 1984. Yeah, what's happening? What has been going on? So yeah, yesterday I read some pieces from the what's the name, one of the joints. Y'all have any, questions, anything? Oh, I'm sending y'all some sending links out. If you want to join, y'all just pop in. If not, it's okay. Let me see. I moon dropped a jewelry video, 11 minutes. Nice. Love you. All is. That's a fact. I agree. I ain't seen no videos with our moon family. I ain't, honestly. All right, one is out. Let me see who else is. Let me see what's happening. My peoples, man, I'm sending out links because y'all be flat leaving me. Raul Bad, beloved. Yeah, it's cold out there. Y'all come on in. Don't act like that. It's cold out there. Ain't no reason to be out there in them streets. Ain't no reason to be out there in the streets. Come on in with the people. Let's build. Let's go. Let me see. Dude doing. Calling out too. What you doing, God? Doing. Shit, man. Anybody got anything they want to build on? Any specific subject matters that popped up that they want to elaborate on? Get up the chizas. We bigger the bum, rigger the rush, bigger the punk, some savage. Shakes him up and down like the Down Jones have it. Be like that sometimes, God. All right, I send a few out, and then anything else we go build on later. So, yeah, God. So we need to really get our bearings together on a lot of things, man. Again, I just want everybody to think about what's going on. Get involved to evolve or dissolve. You dig what I'm saying? That's what I keep saying, right? Get involved to evolve or dissolve. So I got to break down. Yo, not all night, but we here. I just hit you. I hit you, my hot tweet. If you want to get in, get in. Yeah. Listen, are y'all reading though? Y'all reading the joints? Like, we gotta get it. We gotta get involved, bro. Like the Proverbs, just is a beautiful thing. What else? I wanted to read y'all some of my give y'all some exclusives. Some of my book that I wrote that I'm getting edited right now. I'm getting the book edited right now. So I wanted to read y'all some of that and then go into, wherever we go with it. All right? Yeah, you hear me? You digging me? So now this is still raw and uncut. So this is one of the questions. It says, I got a breakdown. Like, what is a straw man? Got a breakdown of that. I can also read part of the the Matrix breakdown, like I read the Wizard of Oz breakdown yesterday. What is a secure party sovereign creditor? All right, check it. I'm gonna read this. This is exclusive. This is in my book on Black Love. Message to the Sabines. That's what my book is called. So this is an excerpt of an incident that took place inside court. Okay, so in 1989, Austin Gary Cooper was prosecuted by the Department of Justice in the U.S. District Court for failure to file income tax return. United States of America versus Austin Gary Cooper, case number 89-109-CR-Hovler, Southern District of Florida. In this otherwise ordinary tax case, Cooper elicited a staggering disclosure from the judge that there are simultaneously two citizenships, citizens of the United States and the American citizen. So one of the things that Emperor Khufu keep emphasizing is that one of Happy Gratitude Week. Gratitude Week. I'm at that. In the week. I'll take care of that, God. Let me see. It's Saeed. I know that's Saeed. But if anybody else to see it, they can add on with the Lahaj. So this is all right. So this is a brief thing. So this is breaking down. So Gary Cooper is in the court, and the judge is explaining that there's two different citizenships. There's American citizen, there's United States citizenship, right? So there's a United States American citizen, United States citizen. So this is what the Vatican and the Queen's Court basically sent back as a response to, like, with Khufu. One of them basically said that we are recognized as foreign nationals because we're not a part of the corporate structure, right? By nature. And then the other one is saying that we are American state citizens, not United States citizens, because United States citizens are part of the corporate structure. You see? So Cooper said, I want a judicial determination. Am I an American citizen or a citizen of the United States? Judge Hovler says, you're both. The assistant United States attorney, Koslowski, explained what made Cooper a United States citizen. Koslowski says he pays Social Security and he uses the Postal Service. Therefore, Mr. Cooper is a U.S. citizen. Though it was covered earlier in the book that there are two citizenships, the above mentioned case exposes that one, that the judges and the lawyers know and conceal this fact, and that two, that the U.S. citizenship is determined by contract, and two means of unknowingly contracting with the United States government is by one, paying Social Security, and two, by using the Postal Service. Social Security is considered welfare, and those who accept it tacitly confess that they are so incompetent in managing their own affairs that they have that they must appoint the U.S. government as their guardians. They call such status by names: child of the state and ward of the court. Those who are incapable of caring for themselves are subjects of the doctrine of parens patria, defined as follows: is a Latin for parent of his or her country. The state regarded as a sovereign, the state in its capacity as provider of protection to those unable to care for themselves. Black's 7th edition, Black's Law 7th edition. This is the trick. Everything in the world is governed by contract and legally accepted, legally and illegally. Acceptance of a benefit, welfare, social security, protection of the state, is the equivalent of acquisition of a legal right in exchange for a promise, albeit a tacit promise, but a promise nevertheless, without which any such benefit would not have been possible. So now, what makes the Postal Service, peace and blessings, what's happening, family? So what makes the Postal Service part of what confirms you as a United States citizen is the fact that not the Postal Service itself, because your stamp pays for the mail to go from point A to point B, but when they take it from point B and they walk it to a specific place, that now changes everything. That's a benefit. That's a privilege. And you owe for that. There's another joint I have in here, another court case. Uh-oh. Hold on. One of the guards and popped in. Elder guard, Mahatwi. What's going on, beloved? All right. Mahati, you ready? You want to pop in? Let's go. Right, we're back. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you on. So I'm looking for this other case inside the book. Listen, the book is gone. I'm looking for the book to be out before the end of the year. I'm like, even if the hardbacks is not out, or the hardcover or paperbacks or whatever you call them, I would definitely be having the ebook going on, ready to rock. Ooh. So we gotta just learn this legalese. We gotta learn. I'm looking for a specific case. I love the case that I'm looking for. So I don't know what is that. Because that was one situation. This is talking about the Washita. This is dealing. Told you, man. I was thinking about all the stuff that we going through right now, bro. I was thinking about this since 2004,
Rollback.
2005. Rahubat Mugdal. Akat Antak. How are you?
I'm okay, all right. One tech.
Nuki. The fear. Nuki in the fear.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. What you been up to, beloved?
Studying.
Excelente. That's always a blessing.
You been.
What pray I ask are you studying?
The book of Gates.
The book of what?
Gates.
Gates.
Yeah.
Is that what is that what is that in?
What do you mean?
What book is the book of Gates in?
It's not in the book. It's from Palmares.
Yeah, so like the pyramid.
Yeah.
Pyramid text and stuff. So it goes through it like that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that
I was watching you last night, and when you were talking about the whole breakdown
with the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing stuck with me.
What's that?
Gentle. The gentle ones. Yamasi.
Tour. When it's funny you because when I went through it, it resonated with me, and I was thinking about the treaties of peace and friendship.
Right.
And I'm like, it just falls in line with the nature of our people and
Right.
their natural, or when they're in their natural way in
Right.
mannerisms. We just a peaceful people, by nature. We just want to enjoy, be spiritual, have fun, raise our families, That's what we want to do. But
don't forget that land grab that Baba spoke about.
okay, build on that.
I don't remember everything. I got the newspaper about it, but they came in and they had offered the Yamasi, or they swindled the Yamasi out of a lot of land for a little bit of money.
Uh,
Where I'm coming from,
yeah.
and that ensued into what was called the Great Yamasi War.
The war, yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely was trying to steal.
Yeah. So the whole bunch of corporate crap that they did is really based upon when they came in and they sold the land and then changed everything over and went against the treaties.
Yep,
You see where I'm coming from?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It
So
pulled
I was
everything out of the
watching.
organic. Everything went from organic to this artificial. So we
Yeah.
couldn't keep up and couldn't demand anything because we have no jurisdiction in that fake world.
Correct. See, once we can stand on the fact of proving that they are not ab initio, meaning from the beginning. You
To
know
it.
what I mean? And we know that the whole corporate fiction is de facto. The government is not real. You
Mm-hmm.
understand where I'm coming from? Not to mention too, I would tend to believe, because I'm not 100% sure,
Okay.
but Bob is being held by a private industrial corporate entity.
Yeah, the federal prisons are private. They're
Yeah,
separate. They're their own world with their own
yeah,
authority and chain of command.
yeah.
That is correct.
Because when I was locked up, the soap, the shampoo, the clothes, the shoes were all made by Bob Hope.
Yes, Bob Hope. Who was that also that had the dude that used to do the Price is Right?
Bob,
With
Bob,
come
was
was that Bob Hope?
that was Bob Hope? Yeah,
Okay. I thought to come on down.
yeah, Bob Hope.
Yeah, well he owned a lot of the industry. Like you said, a lot of people don't know that's how he made most of his bread.
Yeah,
The private prisons.
yeah,
A lot of the food companies
correct.
that distribute to the prisons, he also controlled.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's sheesh. Hey, he just took me back with that one.
yeah, man.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie. I don't know where this damn thing at. I was looking for a specific storyline in here where I had broke down a case where a dude was bringing up the Federal Reserve, the head of the Federal Reserve, on charges. He was in court and he was explaining to the judge that the banks was making money out of thin air, and the judge didn't know what the hell he was talking about. The judge was like, "That's impossible," and they put the dude on the stand. He confirmed everything.
Oh, but hold on. Before you go any further, Ninth Power and Jim Jones. Yeah, that's the name. Bob Barker.
Bob Barker, that's the name. That's a fact.
Yeah, thanks, fam.
Bob Barker.
Yeah.
He yo, you lying, beloved. You lying. He said the Wizard of Oz is on TV right now, God.
Wow.
Yo, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, we done put that out there. All right, well, the Matrix about to come on tonight because we gonna read the Matrix. Baba, how you doing? You okay? All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna read some definitions from the glossary. I'm not gonna do the maxims because it's 10 maxims of commercial law. I know most people don't know about all that. So I'm gonna read periodically throughout the time frame because this what we're gonna lean on, because we got to get our people ready to go into this world. Because ready or not, here we come. One of the reasons why they're controlling us the way they are is because they've created a system of lawyers of attorneys, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? A system of attorneys, and we don't speak legalese, you know? So we got to start getting Black's Law dictionaries in order to get into legalese. Okay, so just like basic stuff, like things like the God just spoke about de facto. What is de facto? Black's Law 6th edition, de facto, right? This phrase is used to characterize an officer of government, a past action, or a state of affairs which must be accepted for all practical purposes, but is illegal or illegitimate. Thus, an office, position, or status existing under claim or the color of law, right? Such as a de facto corporation. So the de facto corporation is illegitimate and it's illegal, but if it's accepted, it can exercise power. You understand? A de jure under Black's Law 7th edition, Latin for as a matter of law, existing by right or according to law, descriptive of a condition in which there has been total compliance with all requirements of law. Black's 6th edition says of right, legitimate, lawful, by right, and just title. In this sense, it is the contrary of de facto. So when we're explaining that the United States is a de facto corporation masquerading as a country, and that the indigenous, the nation, let's go back to Chief Thunderbird Black Eagle, when Baba established the Yamasee nation, it was a de jure government. It is a de jure government. And this is what's being continued with the brother Emperor Khufu, is a de jure government. It's all right and exact. It's not a de facto government. In a de facto, I mentioned the concept of color of law. Color of law is defined in the Black's Law 5th edition, the appearance or semblance without the substance of legit right, misuse of power, possessed by virtue of state law and made possible only because wrongdoer is clothed with authority of the state. It's an action taken under color of law. This is what most of us have suffered under since we've been under these pilgrims. They've been acting under the color of law. They've been protected by the immunity of the state, which is really borrowing our immunity, because we the ones that empowered the state. When you go back to the origin of these people here, and when they basically got it from the indigenous people and the Moors and things of that nature, that's how they got their immunity. They basically borrowed and shared in our immunity, and then down the line convinced us that it wasn't ours. You know? Let me see. Other joints that pop out to me. Idem Sonan. It's IDEMSONN. Idem Sonan. This is how they trick us. The Idem Sonan ties into the Ensligas. I'll explain that also. Idem Sonan, Black's Law, 1st edition, sounding the same or alike, having the same sound or term applied to names which are substantially the same, though slightly varied in spelling. So as in Lawrence, Lawrence, and Lawrence, Lawrance, and the like. Now, mind you, this is in the Black's Law Dictionary. Why is that important? Because to us, it doesn't matter if a nigga name is spelled with a ENCE or ANCE. But in law, everything has to be exact. All T's got to be crossed, all I's got to be dotted. And when they make a mistake like that, that's a determination on whether they're going to succeed or fail with the case, because that's a whole nother identity. I never spelled my name like that, or I never wrote my name like that. You could go through all my public records and all my private records, and you'll never see that. So who is that you talking to? That's the type of stuff that people will bring about. Person, artificial, an artificial person. Black's Law 7th, an entity such as a corporation created by law and given certain legal rights and duties of a human being. The right to do some act which without authorization should be illegal or would be a trespass or tort. Also written evidence. So an artificial person is created by the law, but given legal rights and duties like a human being. What we've been dealing with is we've been dealing with the system through our artificial persons. Those artificial person is the ens legis, or the all capital letter name, called the straw man. These are like this is rudimentary like Bahati, do you agree? This is the basic stuff for that we have to we definitely should know in order for us to be able to go into higher levels of this verbiage, this legalese, and understanding the difference between public and private. So I'm just giving you, I'm not going through the whole thing because this is a book that I wrote, and I want you to, I'm gonna be selling, I'm gonna let people get in the position to actually pre-order. So it's going to drop like around probably on New Year's, December 30, 31st. Consanguinity. You look that word up. Consanguinity, kinship, blood relationship, the connection or relations of persons descended from the same stock or common ancestor. Why is that important? Because consanguinity is a word that's written inside the legal documents of the foundation of this country, so-called, right? With the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution. There's actually like 2 or 3 of those documents actually have the word consanguinity, implying that these laws that they were setting up was for them and their blood progeny and family. Sui juris, of his own right, possessing full social and civil rights, not under any legal disability or the power of another or a guardian. Sui juris is similar to sovereign. Sui juris, meaning this, I run this. I'm the God. Oh, this is one of the most important, because this is who we dealing with when we try to appeal to a lot of these people in this position in the courts and to the police and things of that nature. Myrmidons. A Myrmidon is a member of a warlike Thessalian people led by Achilles at the siege of Troy, a hired ruffian, an unscrupulous subordinate. Myrmidons are robot individuals that just do exactly what they're told, no questions asked. These are the type of people that will kill their mamas if they were told to by their masters. Those are Myrmidons. You got me? So here's an example of certain things that we got going on. I'm gonna look one more time for this damn case with this situation. U.S. Inc. Pay the debt. International bankers. Boom, 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 boom. Anybody got any questions? Hold up. Anybody want? Might spit some facts. President Obama Plain Writing Act. What are you talking about? Plain Writing Act of 2010. Plain Writing is every covered document that agency issues substantially revised. Technology on TBS. Wow. I can't believe that Wizard of Oz is on right now. That's crazy. Jeez. Yeah. I dance on there. Real picture people. Straw man. All right. Yes, who that? We here. Damn, I don't know where what's the name at, bro? Damn. I'll get it. I'll find it another time. I had it. So let me read. Let's go into. We read The Wizard of Oz, which was the old school joint. Let's get a updated version of that with The Matrix. Now, how many of y'all seen The Matrix? Come on now. Don't act like that. How many of y'all seen The Matrix? All right. I know y'all did. Let's go. Okay, this is a Matrix review of the first one. Very short. Don't worry about it. It's very short. It's not even as long as the Wizard of Oz joint. It don't even have to be. You know what I'm saying? It don't even got to be. It's real. They got like the whole Matrix script in here. I'm not doing that. It's the third Matrix. I'm not doing that. because it's going through the different versions. Like when you look at like Neo in the Matrix, so his first approach to dealing with the Grand Architect and the agents was to go to war. His second approach was to basically try to discharge. Let's get who we could get out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? And still be fighting. He had to learn to stop fighting. You don't fight. You don't fight. Once you start to fight, you already lost. Fighting is losing. You have to go in there and accept the reality of what's happening. What does that mean? They have a process called banker's acceptance in the banking system, and it translates into the court as similar. It's just it's explained differently. You can go to I tell you, sis, I'm gonna send you right to CNYE. You better go to CNYE, embassy, imperialgov.us. That's where you go. That's what I'm gonna send you, okay? Because nobody else was. Yeah. The afterlife with the kids. That's yo. Is that out? Because I got Fire Stick. I'm watching it. Oh, your matter of fact, don't power season 2 come out? The second with what's that, Ghost? Don't Ghost season 2 come out tonight? Isn't that episode on tonight? All right, family. You know, you can do that. Somebody holler. That's right. Fighting without fighting. So you do things like remember when Shabuel was up here? Every time somebody said something that he didn't agree with, he would say, I accept that for value, and you know, upon proof of claim, or I accept it for value and discharge it with proof of claim. That's an actual process inside of the courts. And so anytime there's a conflict, you fight without fighting. You accept what's being given to you, and you basically offer a counterclaim. You know, I accept it like with conditions. It's supposed to be acceptance for value and proof of claim. It's an actual process. It's literally a process. What? Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, that's the prison packet. Oh, try to help get me in there. I get that another time. But yeah, it's the art of fight without fighting. So let's go over the Matrix. Exactly. That's what he was doing. He was accepting it for value. He was accepted for value because well, if it's tomorrow night, Stilo, then it's gonna hit on at midnight. I'm pretty sure y'all niggas gonna still be here at midnight. So then that's when I'm gonna watch it. So when we get off the jack. All right, let's go over the Matrix. Subject, emergency. The time is now to extract yourself from the Matrix. Your savior has come for you. Whoa, let's start. It's about to pop. Let's go, baby. Oh, snap. It's going down. Care must be taken when describing and decoding the information for the uninformed that is coming from within the matrix by way of the communication. The uninformed cannot be told about the matrix. They must experience it. The communication rightly explains to them that the matrix is the world pulling over your eyes to blind you from the truth. It makes you a slave, a prison for your mind. If you attempt to expose the uninformed to too much light, you will surely blind them. The communication is the story of the gospel of the scripture, but it is set within the framework of a Greek science fiction drama. The leading character is named Neo. He is played by Keanu Reeves. The word Neo in Greek means new. Neo is the new man or the new Adam come to save the people of Zion. But first, he must die and be resurrected by Trinity. Once resurrected, he will save the world by taking the people out of the matrix and into the land of Zion. The problem is that in the beginning, Neo does not know who he is or where he is. He first must be brought out of the land of the matrix and learn who he is. He is extracted by a team of Zionists led by their leader, Morpheus, who is played by Lawrence Fishburne. The woman Trinity, played by Carrie-Anne Moss, is one of the principal persons from the Zion group that communicates with people in the Matrix. Together, Morpheus represents God the Father, Trinity represents God the Spirit, who breathes life back into Neo and brings the message to the Matrix, and Neo represents God the Son. Their team of helpers are called the people of Zion. The consult, the oracle, which represents the Holy Scripture. The oracle does not judge good from evil, but is a guide to show the path upon which the people of Zion must go. The people of Zion use a vessel named the Nebuchadnezzar as a means of travel within the Matrix. Allied against the Zionists is the Matrix. The Matrix is the world which has deceived all people therein to fall into a dreamlike state, a dreamlike sleep. In this condition, the people are warehoused in large storage facilities. The people are physically hooked up to the cells in this warehouse by tubes that both feed them and extract electrical and heat energy from them to run the machines of the world who have taken over control. The tubes also feed the people in the Matrix. Computer-generated thoughts programmed into Matrix computers. Therefore, life in the Matrix is nothing more than an incredibly complex computer program created by the Matrix to conceal the real intent of raising and harvesting human beings to provide electrical energy to run the machines which control the Matrix. Now, we know that the Sister Sophia Stewart did this Matrix, right? We know that the Wachowski, they stole it. They stole it from her book called, well, allegedly, she said she got the lawsuit, it was settled. They stole it from a book called The Third Eye that she wrote. She also wrote that book, The Third Eye, was dissected and extracted and became both the Terminator, all the Terminators, and the Matrix. Tell you that she was on some other stuff, right? Yeah, so. And it's funny, because they said they're harvesting human and the energy to use as like energy for the machines. But we know that we talk about extraterrestrials, right? And they're harvesting humans for food and sustenance. And of course, absorbing energy from the humans, because all interdimensional extraterrestrials don't just eat physically, like eating, chopping up people and cooking them and all that. They absorb energy. They're energy vampires. They just need you as a source of projecting energy so that they can feed off of it. You know. Now, the whole Zionist thing is going to be magnified and looked as good in this storyline because the dude that wrote it actually comes from a group called the Zion Group. So because when he's talking Zionist, he's making a tie between the whole Zionist movement and him and his group called the Zion Group. So let's let you know, I don't approve of any of that crap, but this is where we at right now. Okay, so we're gonna get to the breakdowns of the Matrix. Yeah, without prejudice. Everything's always without prejudice, God. Without prejudice means that anything that you don't see that's in a contract that you might be signing, anything, you basically reserving your right to challenge and dismiss it and not accept it. So any kind of sneak attacks, okay? The tube. These electronic thoughts feed the people in the matrix, create a substitute for real thinking, real thoughts, and real experience. Instead, the people in the matrix only believe that they are alive and experiencing their lives. Their bodies never physically leave the cells in which they are kept, but to their minds, they appear to be living a normal existence with a job, personal relationships, hobbies, and the like. In the matrix, everyone is united as an artificial intelligence. Your world is a computer program that appears real to you. This is what we are living in. In the literal sense, so far as this planet really, this world literally being like a computer generated, generated reality, like like that, and also on a smaller scale, on a micro scale, the corporate infrastructure that's set up is the matrix that is governed by the Uniform Commercial Code, which is the rules and regulations for all commercial transactions in the world that I read yesterday. Was what they started it in like the 50s, after the bankruptcy of the United States and after the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now they started the uniform. They grow the Uniform Commercial Code to govern all the coded transactions in the commercial world, and then they created us with these birth certificates. They transferred us. We both physical, flesh and blood, and we're commercial because of our own capital letter names that we interface with the matrix through. When you do the secured party system, the secure party status, what you're doing is you're staking a superior claim over that all capital letter name that you interface with, that you use as what's called in legalese, it's called a transmitting utility, which is like a bridge that you use to interface with the fake system from the real system, and you're saying anything that goes through that fake system, you have to be the first one to have you're the superior claim, and nothing goes through that's real if you don't approve it, because you want to be you're going to be affected by it. Because what happens is, if that name or that entity gets up at anything, they come into you. And I didn't read this definition, but they come into you as a surety. And as a surety, what you are responsible for whatever happens to that entity. You dig what I'm saying? So the Matrix is showing that, like, to show it how it correlates with the Matrix. When they were in the Matrix, they were fighting, though it wasn't real. Whatever happened during that fake concept with them fighting, the real bodies were bleeding that was set up in them chairs. So you're affected by what happened to your commercial entity, your commercial self. Absolutely. So, now we going in on the God said, because we know this is the doctrine. This is real. This is real. Zion, Zuin, it lead to Neo, to Trinity, because his real purpose was to fall prey to the love of Trinity and neglect saving the lost ones. His perspective, Well, that was his difference. The difference was and sometimes you need that. I'm gonna just say that because you're talking about the last phase of the Matrix. That's Matrix 3, when the Grand Architect gave him the option, and he took a different route than all of his predecessors, which made it possible for him to for him to succeed. How do we know our birth certificate is worth the amount of pounds you weigh, the same as the weight in gold? I have no idea. I don't know about it being weighed, being worth your weight in gold. That makes sense. I know when you do a security agreement and you're dealing with reclaiming that original registration of birth, you can put a value on it based on any violations. You can actually put a value on it. So I don't know what other people put. I know when I did my secure party status, my secure party credited thing, I put a value on it like 100 billion or some craziness like that, because I was like, to ward them away. Don't touch my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch my stuff. Yeah. Where did they get the gold? Well, that's a good question if it ties into the other one. Trinity was really the 3 of 1. There was a slow scream of feminist Zionist and a null to null us back to sleep. Spell. That's a good one. That's a good one, God. So I think Trinity was actually more powerful than they like to let on, because through her, like you said earlier, you know, Neo chose her over everything else. You know, think about women that changed the course of history. It's funny you asked that. Let me say, take. That's a whole process. A lot of people have been chasing down the birth certificate, the live birth. Some matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, if not yesterday, if not the last class, 2 classes ago, Kufu literally walked through how to or you could go back to the last class. I think he answered that question. You know, just rambling. I think he answered that question. Honestly, not the class that just went on, the one before that. Yeah, the public class. He actually answered that question, talking to somebody else about something. There is a group that works for the Matrix called the agents. These agents are not real people, but sentient computer programs, which gives the agents supernatural powers. Their job is to locate and destroy people who have either physically disconnected from the Matrix or who are within the Matrix, but are receiving unauthorized communications from people outside the Matrix. The name of the leading agent is Smith, who represents the Satan, a totally evil entity, and he's out to destroy any living being who would attempt to physically leave the Matrix. All communications with people within the Matrix are done through the Matrix computers. The communication can be made by way of a phone connection or modem connection to the Matrix computer, which in turn communicates with the person in the Matrix over the direct computer link to the person's minds. Once a person is physically removed from the Matrix, that person never again physically goes into the Matrix, but is still mentally projected into the Matrix computers. Before Neo comes out of the Matrix and learns who he is, Neo is captured by the agents and taken into an interrogation. Agent Smith asks, he says, "Okay, Mr. Anderson, I see a man sitting before me who has 2 lives, one in the law form of the Matrix and one in the law form of the Zion. Your first life is a man named Thomas A. Anderson. In this life, you have a social security number, you pay your taxes, you work as a computer programmer for a software development company. Your second life is a man named Neo. Neo has committed almost every computer crime in the book in our law firm. Only one of these lives has a future. Which life is that going to be?" The leader of the resistance movement is named Morpheus. This, like Neo, is also a Greek name. You might not be familiar with this name. I wasn't. The name means he who forms or molds. Morpheus was the Greek god of dreams. The Encyclopedia Mythica says he lies on an ebony bed in a dim-lit cave. He appears to humans in their dreams in the shape of a man. He is responsible for shaping dreams or giving shape to the beings which inhabit dreams. Morpheus is mentioned as the son of Hypnos, the god of sleep. Morpheus is the man who, with the help of others, extracts Neo from the Matrix and leads him to resolve who he is and how Neo can save the people from the Matrix. The name Morpheus is also a computer game by Piranha Interactive Publishing, Inc. Imagine a world where you died, but your dreams lived on. The adventure begins with you as an explorer separated from your party aboard the ship Herculania. In the movie, the ship's name is Nebuchadnezzar. You are looking to resolve the legacy of your father who has disappeared in a region 30 years earlier. You become despondent, certain of your impending death, drifting between strange and foreboding dreams. This game could well be a semi-outline for the movie Matrix. Well, before the Matrix, they had what's called the Animatrix. You can find that also. And that was like the prequel to the Matrix 1. It's an animated version. Some of you, they I have it on YouTube, matter of fact. You see about the Animatrix. I ain't seen it in a while. So it explains the whole science of what happened before the Matrix 1 movie and how they got to that place. Let me see about the Animatrix. Yep, it's an hour and 40 minutes, but they want you to try to pay. I ain't paying for that. Yep, you can see clips of it, the Animatrix. That's what's up. Now that's what's up. 9 pounds, nine pounds of gold. But here's the who put away 9 pounds of gold? Maybe this is speculation. I don't know because I never heard anything about the gold sequence as far as 9 pounds of gold, because I know they got rid of the gold. They don't have the gold. United States is bankrupt. Yeah, they don't have it. Everything was boated out of here, by the foreign masters, the Queen's crown, and so I don't know why would they be. I don't get it. Okay, I understand the concept and it sounds cool, but I don't know. I have never heard or seen that. Maybe Mahatu, you ever back on?
Yeah, I'm here. What
Okay.
happened?
Oh, the brother asked Eternal Entertainment Television. He said, I was watching the video. You see it's up on the screen. There was a lady in London being interviewed. She was explaining the straw man. So she mentioned that when a baby is born, if the baby is 9 pounds, they put away 9 pounds of gold. Maybe that was in London. Maybe in London, because they don't have any gold over here to be putting away for them. Maybe it's credit on account in order to stimulate an account for the child, for them to extract the resources from.
Correct. It's a birth certificate, family.
Yeah, the birth certificate.
Because that's an instrument of commerce.
It's a commercial instrument. I understand.
Because what happens is, remember, they say that when the ship comes in, they call it berth. It berths in the harbor.
Yeah. That's the maritime expression. That's a
correct.
Fact.
Yeah.
So it's a new ship docking.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when you go to court, there's the docket or whatever, right? And what happens is, even when you have a case against you or a charge, because remember, a bank account is based around charges or whatever.
All charges are commercial. All charges are commercial.
That's correct.
Right. Everything has a dollar. I went through this the other day. Everything has a public and a private side. The public side is the charge, arson, or breaking and entering, and the private side is literally a price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they, like in Barbados, they say that at birth we were allotted 7 to 9 pounds of gold. So if you know how much a pound of gold costs, then you would know how much a birth certificate is worth.
I was
saying coming from, because that's a precious commodity. So what happens is they have an actual monetary amount that's a fixed, because remember, even when you have a court case, right? You have a what's it called? A pursuant, right, to the case. And then there's a bunch of numbers pursuant to case 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
Docket number such and such and such and such.
It's the same on your birth certificate.
Yes.
So they already have a case against you, and then when you quote unquote go against the Leviathan, the laws, then they charge you. So when the birth certificate was created, or what was it called again? When they reformatted it, right? And they brought about commercial laws based upon that piece of paper, which is an internet. Because I remember when the sheriffs came to my house in Charlotte, and they was like, what's your name? Yada 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 whoop de whoop.
Uh-huh.
Do you have an American yada yada whoop de whoop? I said, I don't. I have a birth certificate. And
Uh-huh.
my birth certificate is an international instrument of commerce, yada 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 whoop de whoop, boom boom boom. Right? And it's tied to London and the laws of London that's tied to the US government. Yada 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 whoop de whoop, boom boom boom. And they looked at me. But they took my butt away. And when I got down to the sheriff's department, a bunch of men surrounded the vehicle that I was in, right? The taxi that I was in, if you get where I'm coming from, and they took my bag out of the trunk, and I had a constitution in there, and they was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, so you're a Moor." At that point in time, because I was only a portion of the way inside
I
of
got
being,
you. I got you. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna really
You ain't
argue
claiming.
or
Yeah, you ain't
right.
claiming. Yeah, you left it alone.
Yeah, yeah. You see
Mm.
where I'm coming from? But that's what they do. They create an instrument, and then the insurance company and whoever else comes in and begins to funnel what they offered you or what they tricked your mother into accepting.
Yeah, the underwriting.
Yeah,
Yeah, they underwrite it. That's what
yeah.
happens.
Because what
So,
happens is insurance only popped up in Barbados in the late 60s, early 70s.
ah,
Yeah. Men used to walk around with briefcases, come knock on your door, and ask if you want to buy insurance.
okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 I
And
agree.
as we all know, that's tied into the banking system. So, like you said, underwriting. You see where I'm
Underwriting. Yeah,
coming
that's right.
from?
That's right.
Yeah.
I had the whole. It's like I forgot. I think it's. I had the whole title listed of all the crimes and the dollar amounts. That's why the process. We talk about the bankruptcy. Bankruptcy happened in 1933 with Roosevelt. So there's a process. There's a public law process that go with it. A public law. I forgot the number of the public law, but I know the House Joint Resolution process is House Joint Resolution 192, June 5th, 1933.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically making a clear statement that there's no money. There's no
Yeah.
money. Nothing can be bought really. It's only IOUs. And the only
So, yeah.
lawful exchange and transaction is discharge. And being that they're not teaching the people discharge process, it's why the debt is increasing because no transaction is being handled lawfully. So it just keep going on. Every little transaction, 10, 25-cent piece of candy, that's going on the national debt because there's no, it has the IOU has to be discharged. But they'll lose their control if they start teaching people. Well, they really wouldn't. They just power hungry, power hungry savages, man. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And then, like the person is asking, how are they able to trade your birth certificate? Is because they created it. It's a debt because remember they say that debt is like perpetual. It's passed down from
generation to
parent.
generation.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
they
fact.
created that instruments and then issued them out and said, okay, this is yours and this is yours. Because remember, a certificate is something that originally had worth on the stock market,
Uh-huh.
right? It was stocks and bonds, right? And they were trading, certificates or whatever, right? And what happens is that at a certain point in time, when you received your certificate, it was created as a debt instrument, right? And they logged you in to where I'm not going to say right now, but it's ironic that while we're talking, I decided to hit a button on my laptop and I saw something on there that I want to share with you, right? So we have to find a way to um come together so I could just share this 2-page document with you.
That's
And
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
we could do
he
that.
got
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
To the I got a question. This
Wow.
is a random question that just popped in my head about anybody can add on and answer the question. Yes, it's a security instrument. Yes, that's a fact, beloved. We said that earlier. Is a security instrument, and they can trade the security instruments, and it's theirs. Really, it's not yours because you ain't claim it. It's your mama's or papa's until you of age. Well, it's not theirs neither because their security instruments belong to the state also. Um, oh, the origins of the suffixes that the brothers and sisters use as Moors, the L's, the Ali's, the Bays, the Days. I know L's like, I know it come, like Jewish influence, Ali. I hear the Arabic. What's the Bays and the Days? If you can build on that, Mahatsu, if you're familiar.
No,
Yeah.
I had a slight inclination because I was listening to a queen from the Moorsan sample speaking. I
Uh,
forgot her name. Who?
I didn't say name.
Oh, I think her name was Valhalla, something like that, and she was actually breaking it down.
I know one
Cause
of them is German and one is French.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know which one is what, but yeah, that's another thing. Proof of claim, undersigned as a party to the like this. This is me. I wrote down proof of claim process. Proof of claim that the undersigned, the proof of claim that the undersigned is a party to the social compact known as the United States Constitution. Proof of claim that the undersigned. Yeah, I wrote a lot of stuff down to give examples for people of what those things are. This is the raw uncut joint too. This is not even edited. Yeah. So let me get back to my to reading this. The Matrix. I only got like two more. I only got two more pages. Maybe a page really. But yeah, the birth certificate is we have to capture it. That's what they call it. They call it capturing the birth certificate. You know? It looks like everything comes down to the birth certificate because they claiming Baba Yanun was born in Boston. Yeah, that's a fake. Valeria, Valaha. You see this? Your brother saying this is her name, the queen that you was
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, what they saying that
What happened to her?
that's what they said. They said where is she? They were like, where is she, bro?
Okay, I just found the name Bey, Bey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Governor of a Turkish district.
Okay, so
Hold-
Bey means governor.
No, that's the name. That was the governor's name. Bey. Hold on. It's loading. It says matter of fact, here's what I'll do. Governor of a Turkish district, 1590s from Turkish Bey, a title of honor in princely families,
Mm.
the Osmanli equivalent of Turkish Bey, which is cognate with Persian Baig, B-A-I-G, a lord.
Mm.
Right? So they're saying that the word Bey is of Turkish
It's
origin.
Turkish origin. All right,
Yeah.
they. Mm. Okay. Okay, so you got the Arabs, you got the Hebrew, you have Turkish. Hmm.
And as we know, the Turks are the Azruk, the Durqan, right?
Yeah. I know water.
Were you at that class where Baba was breaking down the Nation of Islam history?
There's been quite many classes
Man,
where Bob was breaking down Nation Islam history, but
yeah, because
which
we
one,
all
in particular? Which one in particular that you're talking about?
where he explained that the word Farrakhan was Farouk, Farouq, and Khan, Khan, two Turkish names.
I understand the Khan and Farouk. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Just throwing it out there, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it.
Is that the etymology of it? Bay, one of the brothers said something.
Yeah, etymonline.com. Word Bay.
Yeah,
Etym online, etymonline.com /word/Bay, BEY.
yeah, Bay, Turkish for Beg, Prince, Governor, Turkish for a modern form of Beg, Prince, a governor. Translations and definitions. Governor of a district in a province in the Ottoman Empire, formerly used in Turkey and Egypt as a courtesy title.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we good.
And
Yeah.
now let me look for Day.
Day, D-E-Y. The rules and laws of the your question in life in the Matrix. His accent.
Wow.
What's the day? D-E-Y. Let's see. Day, Turkish honorific title. Da'i, literally meaning uncle. Title given to the rulers of the Regency of Algeria, Tripoli, and Tunis under the Ottoman Empire from 1671 onward. I got that from the book of Isonomy by Michel Tablib Makfauz El Bey. I could dig it. Well, I'm just looking up the etymology of the words. You know, when we get the etymology, we go back to origin, and then we can work it up to modern day acceptances and interpretations. Because you know, we get to modern day, a lot of they work them, they mold them and fix them to be what they want them to be. Let me finish my last couple of pages of this matrix breakdown. So, what led Neo to question his life in the Matrix? At one time, Morpheus asked him, You don't like the idea of not being in control of your own life, do you?" And Neo answers in the affirmative. Neo's name is an anagram for the one or the savior. In a discussion with the agent Smith, Neo was told, once we started thinking for you, the Matrix, became our and not your world. I just want to say that as the one, the savior, they putting it off on Neo, or like with not our world, we put it off on Jesus and all the other stuff. But we all have to become the one. That's the route. We have to become Neo. We have to become the saviors. First, saviors of ourselves, then saviors of our family, and saviors of our people. Each one of us have to become the heroes or the Haru of our families. You understand? The master told us we all have to become chosen one. And if we don't become the chosen one, then we will perish. So just to put that out there. Neo asks, what would happen if you die in the matrix? The answer is that you would also die in the real world, since the body can't live without the mind. Neo also asks, what would happen if one tries to take on the agents in the matrix? The answer is they are all powerful in the matrix. You cannot take them on in this meaning the artificial world they created without rules, this place. So when you're talking about those courts, and we going into these, they're dueling fields. That's what the court is. There's a dueling field. They say, Baba has said one time that the court is just another place of sport, like any other court, and there's uniforms and rules. But that court, even considered the sport, that sport is life or death. That's not a regular sport of just play. No, that sport is giving people 25 years, 30 years to life, while these liars, attorneys are sitting there turning everything back over to the system, destroying people's lives and stealing people's property. And they're lying from the beginning. Everything they do is fraud in that damn system. It's crazy inside the courts. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind, that they got the rules and all that down pat, and they got this big acting. It's like call and response, and they have to play it out while you're there. They have to play it out in front like it's all real. And we think we looking at one of them law movies or TV shows, and we think that's how it's supposed to play out, because that's what they're indoctrinating us with. No reality, it's all corporate transactions. The lawyers fill out UCC forms for their clients in order to be secured having superior claims over their clients. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that you need to be shown. We need to be taught the rules and regulations. But the first rule, the first part of the game that you want to know is, by all means, stay out of their courts. Prepare yourself to interact with them from the first interaction, to set in motion that you will not have to be inside any of their courts. So, but definitely, it's not a pretty sight. It's nerve-breaking, but real talk, sure, I went through it. But that's what I just read is perfect for that, because it says you cannot take them. He's talking about the agents. This is in the Matrix, they're all powerful. So think about all those people. And you cannot take them on in this artificial world created without rules. See, you have to keep them in a position. You have to keep them in a position where they have no power. Where don't they have power? In the organic world. In the real world, they powerless. So how do you maintain control? How do you maintain power? It's cliche. You keep it real, God. You keep everything on the flesh and blood side of things, everything on the organic, everything you keep it real. You don't allow no fugazi stuff in. That's how you maintain. But yeah, bro, I agree. Yeah, Neo had to work his way to overstand that. See? He said Neo didn't have to dodge bullets. Neo had to work his way to overstand that. That he don't have to dodge bullets. That when he flexed, the walls flexed. The little bald head little person. I don't know if it was a girl or a boy. Little person. I don't know if it's they them those. I don't know. I don't want to offend them. You know what I'm saying? The little person was telling them there is no spoon. You know what I'm saying? The little person was telling them there is no spoon. And Neo had to grow into that. Yeah, talk about the rules and regulations. These niggas always breaking the rules and regulations. Where I stopped at. Okay. The only way to prevail is to run from them and get out of the matrix. That is because there is no rules or laws in the matrix. The rules and laws in the matrix is whatever the matrix computer programs say that it is. Y'all see that case that's going on right now with the Mukasu, with the Rittenhouse boy and the killing of those people, and how the judge and how they working together to make sure that he wasn't going to pay for that. This is their thing. They'll change everything as they go. They don't have no rules and regulations. They just got the color. They just play and act like to you, they're going to come down like a ton of bricks and they're going to quote the rules and regulations as is until you start to put up a fight equal or greater, utilizing their laws. Then they're going to push the goal line back a little more. Oh, no, yeah, that would be real. But now we're doing this. Well, yeah, they found him innocent. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, that's real, man. So we gotta the rules and the laws in this matrix is whatever the matrix computer wants. Computer program says that it is. The law is a fiction. The matrix is run on public policy of containment of the living beings in the matrix. Nothing more, nothing less. There are many symbols in the communication. Neo when mentally extracted from the matrix, is given an opportunity by the people of Zion, whether he wants to be physically extracted also. He is warned that after being physically extracted, it would be very difficult to return to the matrix if he changes his mind. Very important. Remember when Neo was woken up, when he first was taken up, they was asking him, how does he feel, right? He said, I can't feel my eyes. Morpheus responded by saying, that's because you never used them. Bro, that was heavy. He can say, yo, he done lived his life up to 20, 30s. And he's like literally saying, yo, that's because you never used them. I got a class beating in the desk a little bit. Salute. All right, God, you doing beats? Yeah, y'all about to have a cipher in the back of the class? 16s going around. 16 bars. Yeah, so Neo was like, yo, Morpheus told the nigga, say, you never used them, beloved. He is, I'll say, all right. Neo is offered a blue pill to take if he wants to mentally go back into the matrix and be mentally sedated, never again to question the matrix. He is offered a red pill if he wants to physically come out. The red pill is symbolic of the blood of Christ. Sacrifice to set man free from the things of this world. The pills are also symbolic of the story of Alice in Wonderland and the song sung by Gracie Slick. One pill makes you larger, one pill makes you small. Going to Alice in Wonderland was written by a mathematician who was into LSD and all them psychotropic drugs. And the Jabberwockies, he was dealing with a science called portmanteau, which is how they construct words out of smaller words and they piece them together to make new words. So the Jabberwocky and the likes were what they did. Knowing that is what, and what's that, Aquila and the Bee? Remember Lawrence Fishburne and the young girl that's Kiki? Wow. Yeah, and they broke down the words and how all big words are composed of smaller words. And you just got, once you know those smaller words that they all come from, it's like knowing the etymology of the word, knowing the origin, because you know the word that it came from, and they put them together. That's why when Baba started doing stuff like even like the word overstand, it was like it made sense because of you just they putting the pieces together and the sequence falls right in line. It said, can we get back to the root of this thing? The birth certificate, that wasn't the root of this thing, beloved. I don't understand what you're saying. We talk about and the mother turning the child over to the state. That's not the root of this thing, because the mother was turned over to the state by the mother that was turned over to the state by the mother that was turned over to the state. Yo, listen. That's something that you have to worry about if you stay on this side and keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? You got to worry about fighting that fight. That's a uphill battle. You got people that's chasing down the birth certificate, chasing down the original birth, because that gives them access to everything in the account. I've brothers that got their birth certificate and they got stamps on it from different countries, from the United States, trading it. And now the new Matrix is coming. That's another reason why I'm reading this, because the Matrix is coming out in 2020 and 22. It's coming out like end of this year, beginning of next year. Yeah, so I need people to get in tune with this. So Neo first meets the Zionists at a meeting spot called Adam Street Bridge, symbolically where Thomas A. Anderson, the first Adam in sin, crosses over into the hands of the Zionists and become the makings of the second Adam. Thomas A. Anderson, when he was still within the Matrix, was wakened at the alarm clock at 9:18. The 9 stands for the fruits of the Spirit, or the coming of the blessing or judgment. We know what that 9 means. And the 18 represents bondage, the condition Thomas A. Anderson was in. But we know that the 18 is another 9. You understand? Y'all know that. Thomas A. Anderson lives in room number 101 in a hotel named the Heart of the City. During his existence in the Matrix, the heart is the metaphor of the physical life of the person or entity. It represents that Thomas A. Anderson was destined to be that life, which is to come out of the Matrix and give life to the people in the Matrix. Room number 101 deals with the numbers 10 equal fullness of law and responsibility and teaching, and 1 equals unity and primacy. Thomas A. Anderson is the one that will apply the natural law to defeat the law of the Matrix. Trinity carries on her activities within the Matrix out of room 303. Room numbers 303 deals with the number 30, the blood of Christ, and 3 equals division, perfection, and completeness. You know, these people are Christian, obviously, and they're looking for their way out. They're looking for remedy, but the remedy is they don't really have no. Their remedy, is to go back to religion. The remedy is to the commercial, even dealing with like science and redemption, right? These bankers and attorneys that got together to try to create these systems of remedies, they don't have what we have. What do we have? We have the blood rights to the land. They don't have it. They don't got it nowhere. The only place that they can even think about is Europe, and it's arguable. Every place else, they're invaders. They don't have it. So they're slaves to the corporate system. They damn near ain't got no choice. Right? 4 main points: bankruptcy, 1930 USC birth certificate, stock market. 2, 3. That's damn near 5, bro. You said 4 main points, you named 5. Hold up now. For sure. Bars for days, heart barred from hate. God body on the rise. It's a new mind state. Beloved. Bars. That's a fact, because you outside of their venue, outside of their jurisdiction, outside of their everything. Matter of fact, once that's over, that whole birth record has to be uprooted from their system and transferred over to the new system that we can cash on out, and do what we do. Takes the blood from the sole of that child's foot, as well as from the placenta. Then they send the samples to vital records. I don't know, beloved. You telling it. So you telling us this. Okay, this is what the brother telling us. This is what they telling us. I don't know. Also knows that they dropped the Rittenhouse verdict on the blood full moon. Like they damn sure did. Civiliter mortis. That's how they consider us, man. Dead in law. also known as Rittenhouse. They dropped that verdict on the blood moon. We was in here chanting. We was chanting and doing supplications. Well, that might be. I know how the prison records get on the stock market. I broke that down the other day. I don't know how the birth certificate. You are goddess. Apologize, beloved. I was waiting for that. You see, I was walking. I was going around. Was trying to. I ain't know. There's no identifiable to lean me into a goddess, a god placement. But now we have clarity. I apologize, sacred feminine. All right, so Neo's physical removal from the matrix is a birthing cycle in which the cord was cut, the birthing fluids were present, and the escape afterwards from the pod where the birthing took place was through a pool of water, baptism into a new life. There are several other washings and baptisms presented by the waters falling at the Adam Street Bridge. Look up the term matrix in Black's 4th edition law dictionary. You may be amazed. It means in civil law, the protocol or first draft of a legal instrument from which all copies must be taken. Does this refer to the fact that all copies or all people within the matrix must follow the prime directive of the matrix to work and the slave for the matrix? The definition of matrix, ecclesia, Latin, a mother church. This term was anciently applied to a cathedral in relation to the other churches in the same, see, or to parochial church in relation to the chapels or minor churches attached to it or depending on it. The communication is trying to tell you that the matrix or the world is a mother church preaching a religion based upon an illusion and false sense of being. Did you ever get the impression that life as we know it is backwards? That what we perceive as reality is the illusion, and that what we perceive as illusion is the reality? In the communication, you get the mirror, and Zion is on the real side of the mirror. The end of the communication is nothing short of jubilant and heroic. Neo makes a phone call to the people of the matrix. He is feeding the direct communication into their mind by way of the computer hookup. Neo tells them, there is no rules. You can do anything you want to do. The law is done away with in their law forum. Their constitution is dead. Neo invites them to join the Zionists as proof that there is no law in their law forum. Neo flies away into the sky as a Superman. After all, if there's no law, there's no gravity, and in their law forum. May the force be your calling. It's time to get out of the dark. So I like the Matrix, but I like there's another breakdown of that. I don't like that breakdown as much as I thought I would, especially compared to the Wizard of Oz joint. You know, they could have went into deeper breakdowns of Neo and Morpheus, and they even mentioned Cipher and how Cipher wanted to get out of the Matrix, and he was willing to sell out everybody to get out of the Matrix. And Lou Cipher, he represents Lucifer. And he told him, "Put me back to sleep." He said, "I don't want to remember nothing. I don't want to remember nothing. I don't want to remember nothing. Make me somebody famous, like an actor, or something like that." That's what he said. Subscribe, the lead supplier for children of Jeffrey Epstein trial is on this week. Anyone hear that? Nope. But that's a good thing to point out. I'm glad I'm highlighting it. How does the prison record get on the stock market? I missed that bill. Well, when you go through, they just like the underwriting we was talking about. Insurance companies underwrite the bond that's created from the charges that weren't taken care of by you, because we're not taught to discharge the charges and zero the account. Because when you have a charge, say arson, it has a dollar amount. Let's say $10,000, $20,000. Somebody has to pay the bill. They're not telling you there's a bill. They're telling you you're paying with time. So as they taking the time from you, putting you in a human warehouse, somebody else is coming around to pay the money on account. The insurance companies come around to underwrite it and insure the bond. And now once you're inside, once you're safely inside of the warehouse, they take your account and they use your exemption because you're exempt because all bills are paid for you because the House Joint Resolution 192, June 5th, 1933, all bills are paid for you. Everything in our life is supposed to be taken care of because there's no money. So we're supposed to be able to discharge everything, to keep rebooting, to keep the accounts to zero. So when they take the account, they take it to the stock market and they transform it into mortgage-backed securities. And they trade it as mortgage-backed securities on the stock market. And one of the companies is CCA, which is what is that? Corrections Corporation of America.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
You said that name, B. Wow.
Yep. And they
Man.
open trading on all of our criminal cases on the market. And that's one of the things going into the Khufu situation. Even those documents, all that money generated, anything associated with you throughout your life, all that got to come over. We got to cash all that in because this is a commercial system. So nothing that ever happens with you don't have a backlog of commercial value to it. Nothing. Everything has a dollar. And they've been making money off of us hand over fist perpetually. Perpetually, bro. And they just keep opening up new accounts. Look, man, I remember when I got locked up, I knew a little bit of something, So I had a bond. I went right to the law library. I typed up a promissory note. Boom, 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 boom. Typed up promissory note. Melt that in. It means it's going to hit me back and say the bond was half paid. They requested the other half be paid by another means. Well, where the money? I typed up a promissory note for a specific amount. If you only took half of that, send the other half someplace else then. What you talking about? But they do that a lot. They'll take all of it and they act like you ain't give them nothing. Car lots do that, all that. They know it's the law because it's the same law that they use to force you to pay. The same exact laws that they use. They use the UCC. They use the tort claims. They use the arbitrary arbitrators. They use those rules and regulations. If you read your contract for your cell phone, you'll see them talking about an arbitrator anytime there's an issue. That there's an arbitrator that's appointed. That's one of the things that I was suggesting to the people who's dealing with Baba at one point. Because I was like, yo, if we can get an arbitrator, if we could get him to a point where he can select his own arbitrator. And whatever the arbitrators say, which are usually like retired appellate judges, but whatever the arbitrator says, that's what stands as law. But you could get one of your own. He could select his own arbitrator. And they have to get that to him. But, boom. No.
Imagine, right? You be in a house in a system and there's a contract made between the corporation and the corporation. And the people who are housing you are being paid $5,000 a day for a year. Multiply that.
Yeah. If they paying, shoot, we talk about the Mukasu. If they paying half any nigga, damn near any nigga, $5,000 a day, they gonna lock your ass up. They gonna act like they don't hear you. Look, bro, you ain't messing this up for me. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You can have an extra slice of pizza for lunch, but you're gonna stay in that cell. I mean, you just keep it funky. That's how people approach stuff. What? $5,000 a day. Yep, nigga. Most of our people, they sell it out. It's over. Oh, nigga, I sold out. Nigga, 5,000 a day, it's over. Sorry. Word up. U.S. government as the guardian. Boom, 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 boom.
Pure commerce, bruh. Pure commerce.
Everything is. Everything is all commerce. That's a fact. Here's my other one. I really want people to hear this about the banks. This is dealing with the banks. I have another one that I'm going to read dealing with how the laws of the Torah, let's just say that, the laws of the Torah became the laws of the land. It breaks down how those entities that practiced the Torah and how they controlled England until the king had to get rid of them. It's like, y'all got to go. Y'all got too much power. Oh, man. The executive order, May 1st, 1933. That's when the gold. Nixon did a bankruptcy internationally. Oh. What he said? Does anyone remember Baba teaching? It's not about money any longer. It's now about blood. Another class in correspondence concerned the 6 ether beings having clones. They clone money makers. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely can see that. But ruling for the machines or Neo, ponder this. The machines were enslaved, gained consciousness, overthrew the enslavers. That's why I said go back and look at the Animatrix, because that's explained in the Animatrix that the machines, who are really just symbolically the sovereign people, the melaninated people, you know, that were taken advantage of and that were put into servitude, they revolted. But look, now take it to that same point. When they revolted, they now became their oppressor. Think about that. I remember in a meeting, and you know, I said to the brothers and sisters, I said, well, look, like say we woke up one day and we control the world now. We have all the rights, we control everything. Everything is in our power. What do we do with the people? What do we do with the people that were our former oppressors? Nobody got to answer the question. I want you to think about it, because the first thing that comes up, the first things that come up are the things that we learned under their control. Most of us, oh, we know we gonna do with them niggas. Yeah. Yeah. One of them niggas talking about blocking the sun now. Yeah, one of them talking about blocking. What's that, Bill Gates?
Yeah, but how you gonna do that?
You got 100,000 satellites out there. You know, you got 100. Who knows? Because you know the NASA is not a government funded program anymore. It's privately owned now. So they going up and down, up and down. How Baba said years ago, he said, "What's a shuttle? A shuttle's something to take you someplace and back. They going back and forth. They got a dollar cab going back and forth to space."
Yeah.
Yep. They got a dollar cab going back and forth to space. Yeah, I'm looking for. It's my fault for not doing it before.
I don't know what sun they gonna block though, family.
Huh?
I don't know which sun they're gonna block. Like that sounds like some little catchphrase or some symbolism. Yeah, I mean that they're talking.
I got you.
Because I'm very, very leery of when they, for instance, they've been saying for the past since 2006, oh, it's going to be 3 nights of darkness. No, 3 days and nights of darkness. It was said this year. It was said last year. It was said year before. Every year, there's going to be 3 days and nights of darkness. It ain't happened yet. So what are they talking about?
Well, maybe, because a lot of times when they speak general like that, but they be talking about specific places. So you think about spaces like Alaska, you know what I'm saying, where things like that happen out there, So I don't. That's something to look into. But, they be talking in codes a lot too.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Because I don't trust their words. You know what I mean? And I know that, as Baba has said before, they talk to each other, and we don't know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They pass messages, and we hear a certain message, but that's not what they're talking about. Just like legalese.
Just like legalese. Just like legalese, man. We give you 10 square miles. Oh, the United States is a total fiction. It exists as an idea. The various republic states of the Union exist as substance and reality. The United States only takes on physical reality after Congress positively activates constitutionally delegated powers through the statutes enacted in accordance with the Article 1, Section 7 of the social compact known as the U.S. Constitution. It is necessary for you to read that section. Article 1, Section 7. 10 square miles. The United States exists as 10 square miles. The District of Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incorporates in England. The United States is a company that has incorporated in England. Yeah, I'm hitting y'all with some shots right now. That's all. God said you got the track, God. Would you say you got the tracks, God? I feel you. You see you got my email. Let me see some bars. Let me see some fire. Let me hear something.
You see what Kafu said, right?
At gmail.com. Which
You
part?
see that?
Hold on, let me see.
ICE correction staff make 35 an hour, starting with mandatory overtime.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, I can see that. They had them living there. They don't never go nowhere. Listen, would you making 35 an hour and you chilling? Because listen, it ain't like it was. I mean, nobody want to be in prison, but it ain't like it was in the damn 80s and like that. Things are getting crazy. You get some of the brothers in the gangs and all that acting up sometimes, a lot of the young people. But that's, most things just doing their bid and getting out of there. Most people. Every once in a while, you have some stuff that happens, but most people just doing their bids and getting out of there. I think the next thing I'm gonna read is the two governments, two flags, and the corporate state. Yeah, the Great Depression, from sovereignty to servitude. Yeah, I gotta get y'all this work now, because we in this world right now, and we ain't gonna make it if we don't get these concepts together and be able to shift our pivot. Yeah, we ain't not gonna make it if we want everything to just fall in our lap. All that look, that I could give you what you want, so you learn to want what I can to give. Nigga, that's over. That's over. It's over, beloved. This is a new day. All right, what's that old song? It's the end of the world as we know it. Yes, you did. The end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. Well, a lot of the more is cliquish, and some want some super ego time with the fellow brethren and on the path to be back in the full fold. That's not just, that's people and their spiritual development. First of all, it's power in numbers, so people click, right? Secondly, ego, when you know that most of the country is not even vibrating on where we vibrating. Even these conversations we having, as rudimentary as some of the brothers and sisters might be, most of the people are not there. We about to shift. We about to make a hard right. Y'all ready? We about to shift the energy. Hard right. Let's go. About to make a hard right. Raul back, God. What up?
Roll bad. I feel on to
I'm doing my best, beloved. You know, trying to stay sucker free in the world of sucker MCs. You already know.
Wahoo Zaman. Wahoo Daguga.
Say again?
Okay.
Oh, you said Raul back to the God. Yeah, man. How you been, beloved?
Back, family.
You good?
Give me one moment.
All right, no problemo. What's the God say? He said, why would a person pay $5,000 to keep a person locked? God, that's how they maintain. Think about the prisons didn't even exist until after slavery was abolished, quote unquote, officially. And then they went into the black codes and the Jim Crows, and they was locking dudes up. Like I used to work for so I just told my little brother this. I used to work for Eddie Rock, who was Chris Rock uncle, Chris and Tony Rock. He was the first one who brought the Rocks to New York from North Carolina and Alabama. They was in one of them spots. But he was telling me how the people were getting killed, man. He said back in the days they used to have laughing buckets on the corners in the South. You know what I'm saying? He said he used to have laughing buckets. If you wanted to laugh, you had to put the bucket on your head because the crackers didn't want to see a nigga teeth. And how he lost friends, like they literally hung niggas because of smiling. They didn't want to see us happy. You know, that's how severe that pressure was on us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As far as what? I don't understand. Person paying a person. It's a corporation. Corporation mean commercial contracts. Facts. Well, back. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry for that inconvenience. Can you hear me clearly?
To it. We can hear you, beloved.
Oh, great. What's tonight's discussion?
Oh, we was going through. I just read a breakdown of the Matrix, first Matrix movie. Are you familiar?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sophia Stewart and
Yeah.
the Matrix. Yeah.
It said somebody said no free will. I do not. No free will. I do not agree, Consuelo. Think about all the rogue programs who were running in their own worlds. For instance, the Frenchmen. There were a lot of free will programs, but most of them wasn't. And those free will programs were ancient programs, like the Oracle and them. They were there from the beginning. You know, the Oracle, come to find out, she's part of it. She was the empathic part of the Matrix program. You know, so that just lets you know, like they will come even appearing like they're agreeable in order to keep control. They'll control every aspect of your reality. But yo, you ever seen the Animatrix? Huh?
The Animatrix. What's that?
Animatrix. The Animatrix is it's a prequel to the Matrix. Yeah, it's actually it's a
was that like that was the digital joint?
Yes, it was like an animated version.
Right.
And it set up a prequel, what happened between the machines and the humans that led to the Matrix 1. Yeah, that was cool. And
I gotta look into that.
Yeah, the ship was called the Osiris.
Right.
At that time. Absolutely. Well, no, the Terminator was the first part. Yeah. The Terminator was the first part, and the Matrix was the second one. So, but then again, like I guess you're right. let me see. So they did the first one. They did the second one first because when you think about it, they still going to war against the machines. No. Yeah, the machines weren't as sophisticated as they was in the Matrix inside the first one, inside the Terminator. But Sophia Stewart wrote both of those. You know what I'm saying? She wrote both of those. That's crazy, you know. But yeah, God, what's happening? Today build is what you building on. How do you say? They be like, yo, what you got on that? What you got on my 40? What you building on?
Oh, no, he was talking about the Morris brothers earlier. You know,
They here. So I don't know what you talking about. The Morris brothers is here. So watch your mouth. What they say? What you talking about?
oh, nah. I just want to
Islam,
to the
dog.
Moors
Islam.
and what
Islam. What you talking about, dog?
Islam always.
Nah,
But as so far as
nah, what you
I
mean,
really didn't have anything to build on.
What? What the hell? So what do you think about? Hold on, somebody here had nothing to build on. Okay, so what do you think about what happened at that case that just took place with the Mukasa? You know, his and them acquitting him of shooting the niggers, the black folks.
I definitely think it's a double standard in society, you know, and and I would love to see the court transcripts so I can make a better assessment, you know. But you know, I know if he was definitely of another race, I feel like he would have gotten charged with something, you know, if he was of another race.
What was that you I was speaking about the other day? We was off the line, and I know I was talking to one of the brothers. I be talking to some brothers. I'm building with the gods, and I was walking through how like so when I was in a Sijin and incarcerated. Excuse me. I used to give young brothers who were charged as adults. I used to give them this magazine article that I seen. It was an advertisement.
Yep.
That was you, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was you. Yep. You was talking about how the frontal lobe of the brain is not
absolutely
developed
absolutely.
until you're about 25. So that's why
Absolutely.
so many young kids make stupid decisions because they're not thinking with the part of the brain that's responsible for conceiving cause and effect.
Yeah, it's not even there yet. This was a car insurance company that was advertising parents getting the cars for the car insurance for the young drivers, and it had a piece of the brain missing that was shaped like a car in the advertisement, but it was going in how they would talk about like brain specialists were explaining the frontal lobe and that deals with decision making and consequences for actions, how it is not developed until after the age of 25. So they use that those types of arguments and those experts in those cases with these young, you know, Mukasu. But when it comes to the Nagato, they charging teenagers as adults.
Right.
So it's a double standard, even though they have medical experts, you know, that deal with neurology, you know, that understand how the brain work, and they know that the brain is not even developed to make the right decisions until after 25. So, and that also ties into the idea of the adults being 18 and 21 when you still, you know, off the grid until 25 kick in, you be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have did that. You know, so yeah, so you gotta, you know, those are medical experts. So I was telling the young brothers, I was like, look, have somebody call somebody that can testify to that fact because that's a human fact, and then go from there. Tie them up. They ain't expecting that to come from me. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah. So I think about that with situations like this. It's not even a, like you say, double standard. They ain't even a double standard. Them niggas run, they do what they want to do. That's why I was just reading about the Matrix. It was like, yo, get out of it, because these agents, they do what they want to do when they want to do it, and they don't have to make any sense or fit no rule.
Oh, yeah, that is a great analogy. Because they
Yeah.
was bending the matrix at they will.
Absolutely.
Right? Agent Smith and them, right?
Absolutely. Whatever
Right.
they literally turned into anybody that wasn't unplugged. So this is why, like, I always use the Matrix as a teaching movie. So it's like, look, we know we got the 6 and 9 ether spirit forces. We got the agreeable and disagreeable. Anybody that hasn't pulled from the Matrix, not just physically, like what we're literally about to do is pull from the Matrix, totally. But I'm talking about mentally. I'm talking about if you still dependent on and you still stuck into the old paradigm of thinking, at any given moment, those influences, those 6 ether spirit, they could jump in and you'll become an agent. You'll become an agent instantly. That's what happened with the master. A lot of the people that were supposed to be 9 ether beings, they became 6 ether beings because they were plugged into the matrix still. They became instant agents against him. If you look at when Neo was running in the streets, you had the old abuela, she had the shopping bags, and then Agent Smith popped into her body. She dropped the shopping bags, and she had a suit on shooting at the nigga.
Grandma was busting at her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it takes, in my honest opinion, with anything that's worth learning, that's completely different from what you've ever heard. It takes years of reprogramming and defragment to truly change your whole perspective on things. You know what I mean? It's a real work. It's an internal job that, including me myself, to change my perspective on a lot of things. So it goes back to what you were saying. We got to do a lot of work to unplug from the matrix mentally, because how Pop said it, there's so many different layers to the spell. It's multi-layered. Once you get past the self-hate, then you got to get past the self-sabotage. You know what I mean? And
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's very multi-layered.
Yeah. It's sad. He said it's a real depressing position to be in, where the first thing you have to do is overcome your own thoughts.
Right.
He said the most foolish spirits incarnate into the Nagaru. And you have to get over those programmings, those leaps and bounds of programming. It's like the Inception. You ever seen the movie Inception? That's the last joint I seen with Leonardo DiCaprio. They had to break into somebody's subconscious mind. You know what I'm saying? And one of the people they broke into his mind, he had a whole army to defend his subconscious mind. He went to a hypnotist to get a military defense of his subconscious mind, so nobody could break in there. That's heavy.
Right. You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
That reminds me of the hermetic. What you just said about the subconscious, and how a lot of these issues are rooted deeply within the subconscious. That reminds me of this excerpt from the Hermetica, right? Where Tahuti is explaining to Imhotep that humans make statues and call these statues God. But when you look at these statues, they're made in the image of other humans. And the real purpose of these statues is to get other humans to worship humans as God.
Say that last part.
Because these statues are made in the goal.
Humans to worship humans. Just the idea, the goal.
Yeah, the goal via these statues, right? So the wise Sabians, they didn't bow down to statues that did not look like self and kind. Because to bow down to the statue is to bow down to everyone who looks like that statue. So Tahuti is explaining this psychological effect to Imhotep in the Hermetica.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you had certain psychologists, certain priests, Christian priests or what have you, that understood that psychological mechanism, and they created statues and images in their image, so humans could worship God in the image of them, and thus
Yeah.
eventually end up worshiping them as God. You
Mm.
know, so when the Hermetica wrote that in there, that was it, how it opens the Psalms, into the Wisdom of Solomon, right? Which is one of those books that they left out of the Bible. But in the Wisdom of Solomon, he explains the idol worship in that same fashion.
Break it up, God.
You
You
know,
break it up.
so that's ah, it's these mountains. Um,
Oh,
um,
he's on a retreat.
it's,
Man, no, I'm listening. Go ahead, go. You good now?
yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah. So that aspect in the Hermetica was copied into the Wisdom of Solomon, and Solomon is explaining idol worship in the same fashion, that
Mm-hmm.
priests make statues in the image of men so that other humans can worship man as gods without even
Mm-hmm.
knowing it. Without even knowing it. So, in modern psychology, they call that conditioning. So
Social engineering.
right, exactly.
Social engineering. Yeah, absolutely.
So, we gotta perpetuate different imageries of ourselves, and really,
We
really
have to
peel
create
back the
images.
layers.
That's a
Right.
fact. That's a fact. That's real. And we got to stop worrying about what everybody else say about what we doing. They don't give a damn that you don't want to eat egg rolls all day. The Asians don't care about that. They don't care about
Right.
they don't
Right.
care that you don't want curry and everything and hot spicy shit. Them niggas, the Indians don't care about that. They don't care nothing about that. Why do we worry about how they gonna see us? Yeah.
See, but that in my honest opinion,
Yeah.
I if you have generations of culture in your family,
Uh-huh.
then you can get to the point where you don't care about other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But because a lot of us, we can look back a generation ago and we didn't have knowledge of self. You know,
Yeah.
it's like we're not comfortable in this position that we're finding ourselves in currently.
That's
You
a
know what I
fact.
mean?
Absolutely. Because
So yeah.
we've been jumping from belief to belief to belief, and we haven't found a home.
Hmm.
So it's nothing to pass on, really. We've been gambling, shooting in the dark. Hope this one work. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Right.
this one will help us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what we've been doing. So
Right.
there's nothing to
Right.
stand
Right.
on proud. I mean, that's what you're working on something to take us from to make that transition, because it
Yeah.
gives
Yeah.
us
Definitely.
access. Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
That's
So
real.
yeah.
Uh-uh, uh-uh. Nope. None of that. We ain't heard none of that. You said
Ah,
and then okay, you back because you became Starscream from the Decepticons.
hey, look, I'm gonna just have to have this conversation with you in person, bro. I, I gotta get
Now
off.
you
Look,
good.
this
You s-
reception is garbage.
you sound good now. You just when you know
Okay,
what
okay.
when you fall back into your 98.7 Kiss FM voice, it just stop working. You got to you got to put you got to you got to
Yeah,
project your
so
voice. Yeah.
got you. So yeah, so when you can look back on one bloodline and and
Uh-oh.
Megatron came and got him. Yeah, you definitely went out this
yeah,
time,
I'm
God.
I'm a I'm a log off. I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back with you.
All right, God. We here. Appreciate you. So so it was said that the Mukasu killed the Mukasu. Yeah, that's what he was being charged with. But I remember that from the situation, the Mukasus that got killed were looking to protect the people, Nagaru, and they basically ran down on him to stop him from shooting everybody. to age 25, and development age 40. Let's go into some other reason. We're gonna change up the energy a little bit, while we're here for a few. Genetic splicing. Let me first say this. No one wins the race in racism. So it's not about being racist. We're not being racist. We're being realists and as scientists. And we're being historians. All right. We can't ignore the atrocities that have been done to us and how we've been violated. Now you can put us on to that, beloved. What that's at? Give us a website, a link, or something. You know what I'm saying? Talk about the real post office. And Consuela, you send me the email so you could you send me the email so we could put you up here live. She said we need a mother up here. We're gonna get a mother to talk about this matrix. Oh, she did. Yeah, she did. Let me see. I'm about to send you an invite. This is to be dead serious. Here we go. I'm about to read some stuff. Okay. Never seen this one. Okay. Sent. Consider yourself sent. Okay. So I'm gonna read some stuff out of for those that don't never seen this. This is the sacred feminine. This is bomb. Whoop, love it. There's no questions, tell no lies. Sacred feminine. So the sister comes in, she's been invited, get her take on some of the things that's happening. Nah, we want some ETs. We want some ET stuff. There are other symbols used. Okay, symbol of Sirius and symbol of Orion. I'm gonna show these symbols so when y'all see them in other places, they get an idea what's going on. Symbols of Sirius and symbol of Orion. Boom, here we go. When you see them, there are other symbols of these sub races. Well, we start. Why and how Rh negative spread throughout Europe and is still found in most Europeans from France to Spain to Asia and now in America. Alien blood type Rh negative. Diodorus claimed that the Pleiadian females laid with the most renowned heroes and gods and thus became the first Salafu ancestors of the larger portions of the Caucasoid humanoids. This is how Zupul, the red zone, was germinated and by whom? The Salafu, ancestors of the white and red race. Some agreeable Zahafu reptilians also arrived in Africa from the Sirius star system and brought to Africa's Egypt the wisdom of Orion as well. They as well mixed their DNA and was Rh positive blood types. They taught alchemy, genetic breeding, and crossbreeding to the Nagaru, who later became the Dogon tribe, moved from Egypt by invading Canaanites southward. Talk about the Mukasu, not talking about the family thing, talking about the Canaanites. Southward to other parts of Africa, such as Mali. The symbol of the Syrians was the pyramid with the eye, and the symbol of the Orionians was the symbol of water, as a symbol of the sun. And I don't know what this symbol is here. The other symbol. See, you know what this other symbol is? On the side, Mahatri.
I'm looking at it. Hold on. Oh, nah.
I'm gonna go back and check the symbols of the different elements to see what that is. There are other
Right.
symbols used by these subspecies. All of the world's secret societies use symbolism to represent their workings on planet or Plan ET. Yeah, that's where it's at. I sent this, sis, to the I'm gonna go back again, but I definitely sent it. Let me see. Okay, hold on.
Each king or a son known may know that symbol though.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. Let me see. Yeah, purple. Okay. Yeah, I don't I seen a symbol before. I'm trying to remember what exactly it is. I don't remember what it is. So, but yeah, when he get back in the whip, he's in a different location. He's in a high altitude location. He ain't got a lot of good reception right now. Proton at proton. Okay, got you. And, here we go. That's my bad, sis. I misspelled the damn word. Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, man, Planet ET. Each unlocks their own mysteries. They each try to keep their workings behind the scenes as cults, clandestine, clubs, organizations, governments, and religions all have signs, symbols, and seals to present their inner purposes everywhere you look. All in some way relate to extraterrestrials or aliens. It's patriarchal, male-ruled religions taught by male aliens, and the doctrines of life and living, which are completely outdated. Sabians, you need to recognize that such doctrines of the Bible, Quran, Talmud, Hadith, Madras, and Sunnah are irrelevant for this technological age. All religions of the Hebrews have their root from the Persian religion of Zoroastrianism. That includes a Jewishism, Christism, and Muslimism. And as you know, being Ur and Chaldea, where the father of Hebrew, Abraham, originally named Ibrahim, became later Abraham and Ibrahim, a Persian called Hebrew, Genesis 14:3, 11:26 to 32. The highest deity. So you had Sumerian, it was Ibrahim, son of Terhu. In Hebrew is Abraham, son of Terah, and in Arabic is Ibrahim, son of Azar. The highest deity of the Persians was called Atar, deity of light and fire. So check it out. Atar, deity of light and fire. What set off the video game craze? Atari. Remember back then, Atari 2600.
Yeah.
That was the most upgraded graphic joint. So, yeah, Super Cypher Saturday. Okay. Joint.
Well, before you go on,
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
The symbol that you put up, is what? Before you go on,
turn the thing down, guys.
You put up,
Okay.
what?
Wait. Give me a second. This is my first time.
All right, don't worry about it. I'm gonna mute you for a second. Go ahead, Mahatri.
Yeah, take a look at it. It says the what? The symbol of who?
Orions. The Orion.
Yeah, that's
Orion.
the one at top is the sun. The one the wavy thing, that's the water.
Yeah, I
And the
know
other one
that.
is
The sun and the water. I'm trying to get the other one.
earth.
You said the other one is Earth. So
Yeah.
here, look. This is another look at it. This is a combination of both of them to represent the beings from Orion and the beings from Sirius.
Yeah.
The combination of, so we got the eye, the triangle, and then the water, the sun, and the earth. I got you. So yeah, that's heavy. Yeah, I knew it was one of the what do they call it, elements. You, Suelo the goddess, you did?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We definitely can hear you, goddess. We good. Peace and blessings be upon you. What's happening with you?
This is my first time I've ever done anything like this, so I had to get my settings right and whatnot, all on my laptop and whatnot. Yes.
Okay. Well, welcome to Revision Radio, where we seek and analyze and break down right knowledge, wisdom over standing, from the third eye point of view.
Absolutely. Islam. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, this is usually a super cipher Saturday, so it'd be a bunch of people's on deck anyway, and you called it out when we was, first of all, I want to apologize. I didn't see the Consuelo. I just see the consul, and I thought consulate. I didn't even see that. So in order to identify you as the goddess, so I want to apologize.
And then the fact that there's an O at the end, and it's a Spanish name, so it's masculine. Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yes. So,
no harm, no foul, God. Yeah.
When you see, he's like, yeah, I'm a mother. I was like, y'all need a mother up there. I'm like, okay, I just was talking about the what's their pronouns. I was like, look, they, them, those, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, look, since you said pronouns, I have to say I'm a natural mother. None of that funny business going on gender-wise.
I don't know, whatever the bend is like, hey, I respect it. That's all I just want to put out there in the world. It's respected.
Okay.
We respect it.
Yeah.
So
we just needed to say it out loud. I get it. Okay.
I understand. So tell me, what's on your mind? What was triggered? What thoughts were going on while we was building on different? We went through a plethora of different
plethora of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really I was so hyped at the fact that you all were even talking about The Matrix, first of all, okay, because that is my favorite movie, favorite movie of like all times. And let's see, next to that is Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. And
good company. We're in good company.
Yeah. I can't remember what the other one is at the moment. Anyway, but in talking about The Matrix, there was someone in the chat, me and him were having a discussion, and I think that he was trying to correlate how talking about The Matrix correlated with the birth certificate and how the birth certificate is being used in the system that we are in today. So
I can see because it's all about freeing yourself from the corporate control. And we're born into this thing, and I guess with them, the idea of them having the title to the vehicle, and in order for us to free, we have to reclaim the title. You understand? So I can see the core, but I personally don't look at it as the certificate itself, as opposed to the whole experience and the fact that we have to get out of that state of mind. Because like once you understand the rules and regulations, the tacit agreements, the silent contracts that we consent to on a regular basis, then you'll understand how to not just pull away, but stay away. You got to be able to stay free. It's not just escape the plantation; it's stay free and become a functioning, fully autonomous, sovereign or free man, woman, deity, incarnation, what have you. You understand? Right. So
absolutely. I think, okay, so there are a lot of people waking up to things here lately, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think that it is important that while that's happening, that we also pay attention to the fact that it's not going to be as easy coming in as it may have been for us. Like everyone's journey is different, you know. And the only reason I'm saying this is because in my journey with it and understanding all these different concepts and understanding what's actually going on around me, you know, I know how hard it was for me, and I was already on the edge. For someone who's not on the edge, you know, for someone who actually believes in what it is they believe and wholehearted and it hadn't messed with them just yet to even put them in a position where they might be skeptical about it, just like Morpheus said in the Matrix. Some of these people aren't ready to be unplugged.
We going through that now. We go through it. You know, many are called, few are chosen. You know? So
And some of these people are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight you to defend it.
That's Morpheus said. That's a fact.
Yes. So, but so the thing that I'm trying to convey is that in that, while we don't allow ourselves to be hurt from that, we keep it in mind. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we have to use wisdom and discretion.
Yes.
And our experience, evidence, and reason, we have to now diagnose. That's why a lot of our brothers that have been brothers and sisters that have been studying for years and interacting with the people on this journey of truth and reality consider themselves doctors, because you have to assess the level of the individuals you're talking to see what prescription is needed to get them out of that level of of subliminal control and that level of being controlled by the matrix. You have to assess by you, so you learn the errors to look for and be like, okay. So you speak to people in a language they understand first and foremost, you know, because if you present yourself as something other than, is a natural defense, cognitive dissonance. Those things just happen naturally in the human psyche. So you speak to them, you know, you find commonalities to encourage more receptive conversation.
Absolutely. But that's a skill in itself.
Absolutely. That happens though with experience. That happens from talking to people and getting shut down. That happens from you being like, okay, I can't just come at them like this, you know. Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm trying to say is that, you know, you this whole concept, this whole new way of being, I liken it to martial arts, because it's not something you could just come in and just be like, okay, I'm just do this and do that. I'm gonna send this paperwork, I'm gonna send that paperwork, and then it's done. And then it's just fixed, and then it's done, and everything's taken care of. No, it's a way of life that you're living in, kind of deal.
No, listen, I what you're saying is real. Matter of fact, at one point in the studies, I came across the phrase. I used it in a book that I was talking about, my book, Shameless Plug. It's coming out before the New Year's. Basic rudimentary principles of dealing with the system, what's going on, and different routes on getting out of it. All right. But they use the terminology called judicial jujitsu.
Haha.
That's what they call it.
Okay.
Judicial jujitsu. And it's about mastering the art of the legalities in the law.
Fighting
these
fuckers.
And you have to know how to switch and pivot. You have to know when, you got to know how to Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them, know when to roll them.
Yep.
Know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You got to know. You got to have the wisdom and discretion to know. But that's the thing. You have to know. You know how they say ignorance of the law is not a defense. So
on either side.
So once you know, now you understand these rules and regulations, and it's like, okay, like you said, it's a lifestyle and it's tiring. Trust me, I was there. It's so exhausting.
It is. It really is.
So my thing has always been looking for the remedies in order to be a perpetually use it to have success. But the problem is, the reason why you have to keep going is because it's a chess game. And once you open up a door, they close it up. Only a few people get through that door before they remake the maze. Like Maze Runner. Remember Maze Runner? The maze changes as you're going through it. Like they changed the maze. I'd be like, yo, we just came through this way yesterday. That was yesterday. 5 people got through. They shut that down. That's illegal now. You know what I'm saying?
But if we go back to the analogy of the Matrix,
absolutely, we still in there.
You can, if you look at it from that analogy, there's only so much that they can do. And if you master it to the point where you see all of those moves, it's like it's on some Bobby Fischer type shit. Like Bobby Fischer, well, I mean, like he was like the #1 chess dude, championship dude. I mean, I don't know his full credentials.
Yeah, they talk about grandmasters and super grandmasters and all that.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna at least attempt to play him, you better be on your stuff because you already know he is type of deal. I mean, it's kind of that deal, but that takes skill, that takes learning, that takes time, that takes patience with other people and people being willing to administer the help when they ask for it. You know, now I'm a firm believer in if you just want it just dropped in your lap like that, that's not gonna work. Noble Ali said that, right? We ain't gonna give you everything. That's just not gonna happen. You have to be focused and alert enough to take the signs when they come to you.
yeah, I firmly bear witness to that. I mean, when you like staying with the Matrix, if you think about what happened through the evolution of the Matrix 1, 2, and 3, the approach to the Matrix was different. When Neo first waking up and he's being taught by everybody that, you know, we're in this war, we got to fight, you know, by the second Matrix, he's fighting, but he's coming into his own. He knows who he is, and he's now introduced to other characters inside the Matrix that have found pockets of created pockets of their own sovereignty. Think about the Neurovigian and things of that nature. These beings exist in the Matrix, and they're controllers of their existence in the Matrix. But this is not the freedom that he's looking for, you know.
Yeah, but that wasn't by his design either. The Neurovigian was there.
He was that I'm saying, not saying that Neo not saying that he designed anything, but just saying that there were other entities that had a level of autonomy within the Matrix that wasn't what he was aspiring to obtain. You know what I'm saying? They created their own little worlds, and that's where they stopped at. That's where they were like, I'm good with this. This is my space. But once you got down to the last one, what happened was it was no longer a war. It was like an agreement. It was like, look, those of them that want to stay with you, you can have them. And those of them that want to be free, let them go with me. Because this is going to be an ongoing thing. We're never going to stop. So let's nip it in the bud. And that's like literally where we're going to. Like that's the solution, because the system needs a certain amount of bodies.
Right.
That's how it works. It has to function. And everybody is not going to raise to the occasion in order to qualify. Like we're not going to free everybody. Like that's a reality, especially not in the beginning stages when we're laying the foundation. It's not going to happen. So
now
go ahead.
You know what stood out to me when you just said that? My mother is a Jehovah's Witness. Okay. And they talk about the 144,000 that's going to come back after Armageddon. And, you know, in the witnesses, they feel like Armageddon is going to come. And
my mama was Jehovah. She grew up Jehovah's Witnesses. My grandmama grew up, they were Jehovah's Witnesses and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. They believe that Armageddon is going to come. And then afterwards, 144,000 people are going to be able to come back and relive their lives to prove themselves, to see whether or not they're supposed to go to heaven or hell, kind of deal. So
got you.
That's on the Jehovah's Witness side. It sounds ridiculous.
You had the Jehovah's Witness, the yellow book with the red. It was a yellow hardcover with the red writings with all the colorful pages of the Bible. Yeah, I know.
Oh wait, that was the stories.
Yeah, with all the Bible stories and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that was like one of my first comic books. That's what I used to. I was like, oh, so all the black folks, excuse me, all the Moors, all the indigenous people, we can deal with everybody on earth, but the only people in heaven is white folks.
Right. Right. And all these people in paradise. And all these people
I remember I grew up when I knew the sciences, but yeah,
the only reason that I brought that up was because they believe in the 144,000 rule. And that's kind of I don't know if
every organism, we know that it's not going to be everybody. So we say what? Many are called, few are chosen. And Islam and the Quran call it the Mukhlasina, the purified ones. The elite few. These are all terminologies to basically express the message that everybody trips and falls over the truth once in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But most people just get up, dust themselves off, and walk away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Skill. That's a skill that everyone doesn't have.
Nah, they don't want it because you have to change. Truth is one of those things that everybody cry for till they knock on the door. Because once they knock on the door, you have to change everything in the fabric of your life in order to bear witness to it and live it. So if people want to play with it, they want to tuck it in a drawer like a video game whenever they feel like it. Let me run through some of this truth. Let me build on this truth. I'm on the third board in this truth. Oh my goodness. They'd be like, oh, no, this is hot. No, this is too much. Pause that. We'll go back to the Matrix. Let me go back. Now let me look at this game. Let me look at the basketball game, the football game. Let me go look at this movie. Let me go look.
Are you not entertained?
Absolutely. So we got to make a decision. And at this day and time, we ain't got no time to play. This is like, I call what's that? Boom, 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 boom. We at the crossroads. I tell me what you want to do. Ain't no place to run.
I'm so with you and I agree with you. I don't know. It's hard. Okay. So it's hard for me because in coming to that type of realization, I have to also come to the realization that my family is part of those people too. And I know that is something that people who are coming into this knowledge and coming into this stuff, that's something that they're dealing with their family.
All of us.
As well, and all
of us. That's right. So what I said earlier, I don't know if you heard, I said, well, each one of us is the hero or the haru of our families. Mm-hmm. We have to first save ourselves. Then we got to go now to our blood kin, our family. And then the communities, and we have to get as many that will listen.
Right.
So all we can do is put it out there, and as many as will listen, that's who they're gonna get it. They're gonna get the blessings. That's all we could do, and put ourselves in position. So if in fact we do need to help those who ain't listening, we in position that we can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because most of it's going to be a bottleneck. It's going to be like that. It's going to be a traffic jam because you know what? Our people are stiff-necked and rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
They'll start off their this is a
find every reason not to. Versus
they will start off a sentence with I don't know, and then they won't shut up after that. How you start off with you don't know, but you ain't stopped talking.
You never got everything to say. Yeah.
They start off, I don't know about this, but I believe. Here we go. I feel. Here we go. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere but the facts. But like, well, you don't know. How about you do this research so you could get the facts of the situation?
Right.
Nah, I don't know if I want to waste my time reading that. But
why I got to do that? Well, I ain't in school no more. What I got to do that for?
Listen, I understand that the system, like this is spiritual war, and we going through the burning sands. We can't go back.
I think that's the biggest thing is that we don't really recognize that we are in a spiritual war. We're in a war for our brains right now. And the fact that it's so easy and so common for us to be like, no, I ain't finna do that. No, I ain't got time to do that. No, I ain't finna do that. No, I'm finna watch this game. No, I'm finna play this game. No, I'm finna go buy this Gucci. I'm finna go, everything is so much more important than finding out the truth about something, and then get mad when they say if you want to hide something from a black person, notice the word black person, what do?
You put it in a book.
Put it in the book.
That's right. Because the lies are buried in the library. You know what I'm saying? The lies are buried in the library. You put it in the book. So they gotta dig, they gotta dig through it. I mean, but that's the war. So like in the Quran, it says that most of the people were born as fuel for the fire. And their only job is to distract the purified ones on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight and narrow path. So most of the people they're just shadows playing their part in the great play to distract those that are chosen to overcome the temptation, to overcome these things and become the saviors of the people. So we have to make a decision of what we know, that they've been telling us this in how many different ways throughout our life. How many different ways we heard these storylines throughout life, you know what I'm saying? And we know what it is. You make a decision. You're going to either be in the world or you're not going to be in the world. Most of us have jumped into the world as a necessity for survival. So now, when we have remedy, are we still going to stay in the world or are we going to get out of it? A lot of us are going to stay because the amenities. We love how the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we love the devil because he gives us nothing.
You going to be Neo or are you going to be Cipher?
So, niggas is Cipher. Most niggas is Cipher. Make me a rapper. I want to be a hip-hop star. Give me my Maybach, son, and I'm going to forget everything. I don't want to know nothing. I want 4 wing stops. Wing stops.
I give you what you need. Just put me back.
Just put me back in. But look, what he had to do in order to get that, he had to set up Morpheus. Right. He had to become Judas to set up the Black Messiah. See how that go? You don't just get to go back to sleep. No, you know too much. You got to give up something. Then we'll take care of you. So we got, so I say this because I've been using the Matrix as a teaching tool since it came out.
Absolutely.
Like the agents, Neo had to make a decision. Remember, he went to the Oracle house. What she told him, you got what it takes, but you waiting for something else. I don't know, maybe another lifestyle, another lifetime. He's like, because that means that's to say that even though you have it, even though you have the formula, you have the stuff that it takes, you have to step into it in order for it to be real. You have to step into it. We all have to make a decision. I'm not just going to sit back and allow this to happen. We're taught that, okay, we all need to make a decision to come into this world. Because we didn't make a decision to come, but once we're in this world, we have to make a decision to do our best to make the world better than how it was when we got here, to contribute, to help humanity evolve and push forward for the better. That's what we all should be striving to do with our creativity, with our intelligence, as a collective, as an individual, in all ways, shape, form, and fashion. That's our job as men and women, brothers and sisters on the planet, and they've perverted us into a state of mind where we just spend our life partying, bullcrapping. Another thing it says inside the Quran, it says this world is sport and play.
Yeah. Play. Okay, with that being said, that's why I also say, we have to recognize that, that's by design. The dumbing down of us especially has been by design. So if someone is ignorant about something, you can't really blame them for being ignorant about it. They weren't taught that. They weren't. None of us were. We happened to take the time out to do a little bit more studying and read a little bit more about this, that, or the third. They might have read a little bit more about something else. One of them might be a writer. Somebody else could be an architect. Somebody else could be a farmer. Somebody else could be, they might have took time to look at other things more in depthly. But this specifically, we know they don't know this. We know that.
But they come into play. They come into play, right? But they still have to know this. They'll come into play to help with the farming, to help with the architect. That's their specialty.
Yes.
We have a specialty also, but we still have to know this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to tell us that because in schools, I don't know about you, but the first thing that I remember about people that looked like us is that we were slaves.
Absolutely.
That was it. Yeah, we were slaves. That's it. We weren't no kings and queens. We weren't Aboriginal. We weren't indigenous. This wasn't our land. None of that,
They never even told us that we wasn't none of that. They just never mentioned it at all. They just talk about slavery.
Exactly.
And
then put on top of it white Jesus and Cain and Abel in the Garden of Eden, and Cain had to get some shit put on his head so that the other people wouldn't mess with him, but they never explained who those other people were. And confusion and disillusion and de facto type of stuff was by design forced upon people.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So,
but it's a place of confusion. The schools was shul, which is hell in Hebrew. It's a place of confusion.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, shul. They say school, but it's a SH, it's a SCH. Shul, it's shul. Or they call shul. It's hell. So it's made to be like that. It's made for confusion. It's made to indoctrinate us and socially engineer us to be perpetual slaves for the corporate system. Case in point, they have the standard American diet, which is SAD. SAD, standard American diet, right? SAD. They give us that when we in babies in the public school, they give us the food pyramid. They teach us to fall in love with every food that's lobbying in Washington, D.C. So all the
and that's bad for you.
The beef, the milk, the cheese, all the stuff that's gonna give you all the goddamn diseases and mess your system up and clog the pipelines up. They teach us to become perpetual consumers of those goods. They don't teach you to eat to live. They teach you to eat to die. That's the system.
On the side note, man, I heard y'all threw down on the food.
Oh yeah. We put some work in.
Okay.
we put some work in. Look. That's how I got Taj to come up there. I hit him with that magic boop boop. He was like, whoa. He said, man, this is criminal. I said, well, why you? Let me ask you a question, beloved. Let me talk to you.
Right. Engage.
He said, yeah, sure, beloved, sure. What? Give me another one of those. I got you. We coming right down the pipeline. Let's go. But yeah, that was a beautiful thing, man. We enjoyed it. We be cooking not as much as we want to, especially dealing with this new paradigm with the kobad. I call it kobad because that's another dealing with a Jewish word or a Hebrew word.
Right.
In Yiddish, they mess up the V's, and if the B's become V's. So instead of kobad, they call it COVID.
They do that in Spanish too.
See, and so the kobad is really is the word for Hebrew word for craft. They call it shining light. And every time the crafts come, or every time a quote unquote angelic being come, they come in these kobads, So they constantly saying kobad. That's the Yiddish perversion of the word kobad, which is craft. They literally saying spaceships all day long. All
Space Jews. Space Jews.
That's what's happening. Real talk. But yeah, we definitely gotta, we gotta make a decision because we want all our people to be in tune, but we can't we gotta get in first. We gotta get in. Those of us that know, We got to solidify our space. And then
Right.
we could pass on and teach as much as possible. First and foremost, though, you got to think about it like this. This is my new analogy. I'm using it all the time. You got to think of this life like you fly, like you in a plane. And something happens, turbulence, and something happened on the plane. The first thing you got to do is put the mask on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you no good to take care of nobody else. You know?
That is true.
And you know, and then we want our family. I mean, listen, I'm not saying I love my peoples, but I know my peoples.
True.
they just don't want. I spoke to my brother today. My brother today. I spoke to him about the information about what's going on. He said, I've been looking at the videos. He said, yeah, I'm waiting for you. When you get it, get in, get it to me, and I'm gonna give it to everybody else. And I was like, bro, that's not how it works.
Oh my God.
Giving it to everybody. Everybody should get it. I'm like, no, you got to work for it. Why should everybody get it?
Taj did a wonderful analogy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, if you see people pushing a wagon up the hill that contains your birthright on it, instead of you sitting and watching them push it up the hill, you need to be behind this wagon, pushing it up the hill with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, people was asking him, well, why ain't the Moors did this and why ain't the Moors did that? He was basically like, well, why ain't you helped in none of that? You know, you got skills, you got your point of view, you know, you're a person, you have a voice and stuff. How come you're not trying to help
participate
in the progress instead of sitting around talking about, well, how come somebody else ain't fixed this for us? Type of deal.
That's because we've been crippled mentally and divinely. Our divinity has been snatched from us, and our divinity is tied to the responsibility or the ability to respond. Mm-hmm. We've been indoctrinated and socially engineered into beings that are scapegoats
and traumatized. Traumatized.
Absolutely, it's definitely traumatizing, but
that's a lot of it. I mean, like whether we want to admit, I think. This is just me personally. This is just
go ahead.
But whether it's admitted or not, I think a lot of it is trauma.
But that's part of the plan. See,
yeah, absolutely.
Polarizes you. It polarizes you if you focus on it. We've all been we born in this plantation and have a stolen legacy, and the people that stole it are around us 24/7, lying to us and trying to beat us down. Or those of us that do come into the truth. Now they want to criminalize us. Right. So yeah, we traumatized, but we can't focus on that because focusing on that freezes you and stop your movements.
Right.
You'll become emotional because all you're doing is vibing and reflecting on the pain. So now you're emotional about everything and you can't reason things out and move accordingly. So that's a trick. It's a trick.
So this is as the only mother on the call. This is what I want to say about that.
Okay, I'm listening.
This is what I want to say about that. I agree with you that you can't dwell on it, but I think you can't skim over it either. You can't negate it because it's a part of the process altogether. You know what I'm saying? The process of coming into the realization of who you actually are. It's a part of the process. You're gonna feel it. So for people to just say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't feel this way, you can't feel that way, that's not really reasonable. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm not let me clarify. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying we don't have the time for you to react to your feelings. That's what I'm saying. There's a space and time. Think about yourself on a battlefield and there's shooting going on. You're in the foxhole. You know how many times dudes get shot, not because of the person having a good target and knowing how to shoot it. They get shot because they might trip over something, step on a nail, they might
run the wrong way.
So, and then they can't ignore that pain. And they get blindsided by that and get shot up by something. Like you got to focus on surviving the encounter. We have to survive. Like I'm waiting to get to my place where I'm like, okay, I'm out of these people's jurisdiction. I'm a functioning sovereign, a national,
Right.
I could sit in my tub and I could just now let it all out.
You
I
can
can
exhale.
flashback through all of my hurts and pains and traumas and my lost comrades that didn't make it. You know what I'm saying?
You can shoopy doop.
My family that became my enemies because I tried to free them. You know, I can reflect on that. But right now, around here between Yamini and Westwood, yo, look, I got to get on my Mr. Spock stuff. I got to be, it's all reason, logical deduction. We have to move like that because that's why we don't function good in business and we don't function good in the law because we add energy into motion. Emotion comes in and it clouds our judgment. And that's why they do what they do. Matter of fact, we have a book called Feeding the Forces that explain that this is what they do. They stimulate, they violate us to stimulate those emotions of trauma, of depression, of sadness, of stress, and that feeds the disagreeable spirit forces, which strengthens the society and the people that's running it. And we have to become spiritual warriors as well as physical warriors.
True.
You know?
No, I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm just saying that in order to get to that level and that strength, you can't negate the fact that those emotions and those feelings are happening. You have to bring them to the forefront first in order to control
them as a propulsion. I'm not thinking about bringing them to the forefront. I think about putting them in the back to use as the motivating factor to push forward. Because my life is so much that if we put it in front of us,
you're going to use those feelings to push. I mean, if those feelings weren't there, you wouldn't push forward.
No, I still would push forward because I want to be free. But my freedom is not. But my freedom wouldn't solely be based on trauma. You know what I'm saying? But we have the trauma. We go through post-traumatic stress syndrome. We suffering from that. Absolutely. You know, and not just from the Albion, you know, we as we call it Tamahu, the filth of creation, not just from these beings, but also from our own people that are trained and live under their image and likeness and think that they have to fall in line with that mentality. You know, hurt people, you know.
Noble Jolie says, I mean, I'm gonna bring back.
Yeah. And it's what we raised to do. So like most of us, right, our interaction in relationships, with sisters and opposite sex don't come from a brother or older brother mentoring us and teaching us how to righteously interact and entertain and engage with sisters. Most of us are trained from the streets and brothers being pimps and players. You know what I'm saying? And that's our approach. Just and in hindsight, a lot of the sisters, their approach is coming from soap operas and fairy tales. That's how they approach. You know what I'm saying?
And music, yeah.
So we coming to each other warped.
Right, exactly.
Warped on the reality of who we are and what we should be looking for in a partner to move forward, or that we even should be looking for and loving our own image and likeness. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to know that we in somebody else's reality and we think from their perception until we start learning to love ourselves and see ourselves as gods and goddesses and the greatest and the beautiful, the most beautiful. I did a report years ago in school and telling the professor that that there's a such thing as right racism and wrong racism. And you know, she definitely disagreed with me, and that's okay. But I described right racism and wrong racism as like indigenous people in whatever section they are, whatever countries they are, each people should look at their people as the most beautiful people, as the strongest people, as the most spiritual people, right? Each one of us should be looking at ourselves like that. And then we engage and respect how we feel about ourselves and how we feel. We respect it when we deal with each other. Oh, they look at themselves as beautiful people. We look at ourselves as beautiful people. What can we exchange with them? What kind of what kind of barter system can we? We have to have respect. So there's a right racism insofar as like, nah, I'm the shit. Okay, like we coming from this world. I'm the shit. But we've been indoctrinated in this plantation, this perpetual plantation, to look at somebody else as more beautiful than us, to look at somebody else as as stronger, somebody else as the protector, somebody else as the dependent or the ones to depend on, somebody else as the sovereign. We've been hoodwinked, and we see ourselves from the point of view of our oppressors, and that's dangerous. It's dangerous to live in anybody's head, but we live in the head of the oppressor and judge ourselves based on how we think the slave master, quote unquote, will be judging us. And we gotta get out of that.
No, that's all we've been taught since grade school. That's all our parents have been taught. So yeah.
Okay, with Deuce Ali Muhammad Ali came what, like the 1800, late 1800, the early 1900s. The Honorable Marcus Garvey, Noble Jew Ali, Prophet Noble Jew Ali. How long have we been getting bits and pieces of to recalibrate our minds, our souls, our trajectory? You know, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad coming all through, you know what I'm saying? All the different intercessors and people in between, even Nation of Gods and Earth, you know, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and you know what I'm saying, all the different people, even on up to dealing with some people with Farrakhan, and you know, and the people that he inspired, and the master teacher like Malachi Z. York, and Leonard Jeffries, and you know what I'm saying, Sheikh Anta Diop, and you know, so what I'm saying is, wherever there exists a negative, there exists positives. What I'm saying is, when the cycle opened up for us to start to receive and relearn who we are, the affirmation started coming to us. Yes, we were, you know, you might trying to hear that, nigga. I'm trying to live. You know, we go through that. Let's go through that. I'm trying to hear all that fly talk, nigga. I'm trying to get this money. We go through that. But what are you gonna do with the money if you don't know nothing? You're gonna give it back. You're gonna give it right back to the people who gave it to you. That's why they're giving it to you.
But so they don't know that.
They don't know that. But we teach it, we put it out there, right? And the thing is, here's the thing: we say they don't know, right? But they're on social media every day right now. The information is out there. This is the most information flowing to this planet in centuries.
True. So accurate.
If you don't know, it's because you don't want to know. You're making a decision to stay ignorant and ignore the facts.
I agree completely.
That's why, like, one of the reasons why I do this, the platform, is because to get the information to as many people as possible. Because as we do that, what happens is we're helping people to resurrect their minds and condemning people that choose to ignore the facts. Because you won't be able to say that you didn't know. And that's what we all have to be a part of.
Right.
Separating the sheep from the goat. Separating those that want to take responsibility as deities and those that want to continue to scapegoat like the devil taught us. You gotta step in. Because the scapegoat is sitting there just as a regular to be sitting there as one of those powerless individuals, those powerless mortals, that everything that you do bad is the devil and everything you do good is God. So you just this perpetual baby that don't have no goddamn power.
As a minor. Yeah. Which equals award, which goes back to the birth certificate. Like absolutely. Yeah, we have to teach this. This is the science, bro. This is where we at, family. You know, and we all have to be a part of it some way, somehow. We have to do it in your small. If one person listen, you'd have made a major change. You know, it's billions of people on the planet. You know, but it's on us. So one of my favorite songs, Michael Jackson, "Man in the Mirror." To this day, ever since I ever heard it, like right now, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, because it's really a check yourself type of song. It's really like, yo, forget what you're hearing about. You got to look at what are you doing.
What are you contributing to this life?
Can I tell you what my one of my favorite songs are?
Go ahead, guys.
Strength, Courage, and Wisdom by India.
I'm familiar. I'm listening to her first joint. Voyage to India. I've listened to 100 of times. Absolutely, strength, courage, and wisdom.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that. You gotta have
That
that.
shit. I mean, you know, a lot. I'm scared a lot. I'm scared a lot.
Scared.
But I keep on.
Leery.
You know?
I be leery of things. I be like, because fear is a polarizing thing, so you can't let it control you.
Right. Exactly. But you can't act like it's not there. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like you can't act like it's not there. I'm not saying don't be afraid, but push through the fear. That's the definition of courage and bravery. It's not in the absence of fear.
I could dig that, but I'm just at a, like, I guess in my
you just don't like me using the word fear, do you?
Yeah. Because you know what? We give power to things. So like, I'm not gonna acknowledge it.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? It's just like with people. If certain people, like, I have people that disagree with me, people that taunt me and troll me. It's like, if I acknowledge it, I give power to it.
Right.
If I disregard it, I'll be like, I'm not even gonna entertain you, because I don't want to give you no power, because all it takes, once it's renting a little bit of space, all it takes is something that we all go through, some kind of emotional trauma, something happened in a relationship, a family member, and your continence get low. Now that entity, that energy is there waiting for you. Yeah, what's happening, baby? What's happening? It's my time. You've been on some strong stuff for real long. Now you got a little weak. You in a sunken place now. Right. Now I can take advantage of you. And that's also why we have to get around ALX. We have to have these kind of builds and conversations. So this is a way for us to build with brothers and sisters worldwide.
Put fuel under the fire that we already have. Because if we didn't have that fire, we wouldn't be here in the first place.
That's a fact. You wouldn't even be here to ask the question. The conversations wouldn't exist if we wasn't those chosen to qualify. But it's on us to what we do with it. I could give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? That's one of those situations. So my first decision is what? Look at the man in the mirror. Okay, got to make a change. You know what I'm saying? You got to make a change. I want
to sing that song so bad right now.
I'm telling you, I can't even think about it. First of all, I can't
sing with them then. Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
Talk. I can't even hear the damn song without crying. I'll be like, yeah, bye. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, thank you so much for having me on, man. I really
listen, I appreciate you guys. This is one of, like, Fridays and Saturdays we be doing a cipher. Matter of fact, and the goddess, my wife, she's putting together we're gonna add you. I got your email now. So putting together a cipher with the sisters, so sisters are come and talk the sacred feminine thing, because
yes, please.
It's really about y'all spearheading the next paradigm. It's one of the things that I love about Emperor Khufu was talking about. He got the 31 matriarch council that control the direction of the government, so that's phenomenal, because it's going back to that matriarch energy, proactive feminine that love their people and love their family and pushing for freedom to get all that aligned at the same time. Shoot, that's like a unicorn. I'm like, all 31 of them need to play the lotto. Let's go.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's what it's at. But yeah, we know what, we about to get on out of here. I appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate the God.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ray and the brother. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all share, make sure y'all subscribe. Also, We need that. We need the love, you know, and y'all see my the little businesses that we got. We got the Natural Nature Herbs, which deal with the herbal compounds. Check out the website. You know, we got a sale right now in the Jet Pillar Rejuvenators for the brothers, and we got some teas and all this other stuff, and sea moss and green foods and everything. Cosmic Shop is for your clothes, you know what I'm saying, or your gear. You know, we got the t-shirts and all that. So you'll come through, you know, show some love. And if you just want to give him a cent, 5 cent, 10 cent dollar to the God, go to Pharaoh Rising Cash App, and you know, it's greatly appreciated. We appreciate you. And like every day, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna say like it's our time, you know, and if not now, then when? If not this, then what? And if not us, then who? You understand? Like, so with that being said, family, y'all be safe. Get out this matrix. Unplug. We gotta unplug out of this matrix, family. And we gotta be free to get our family free on the physical and the spiritual, because there's also the 30 spirits that's in each one of us that dictate what's going on in our physical life. I'm gonna give y'all the video that I did that whole breakdown on. I'm not gonna go back through it because I did a whole 2-hour class on that. So yeah, family, Rabat Wu Ashuk, you know, peace and divine unconditional love to you all. Y'all be safe, show that love, get that knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Let's get free. All right, well,